We are here, we are queer, we are continuing Great Days Eternity, where we have a poor himbo detective who has no idea what the fuck he's doing. So we have to help him, despite the fact that we really need his help to not, be found guilty of murdering our best friend boyfriend. The last thing we did, if I recall, we met her. We did that whole little song and dance thing that was very funny. Minus the song part. Okay, I'm going to get some water real fast. So it's just a bit dry. Welcome everyone. Hello. There we go. So, clearly, you aren't who you said you were. No, I am not Grimsley. Was it really Grimsley? I thought it was Grimsby. No, it's Grimsby. Whatever. I am not Grimsby Roylet. My real name is Nikolina Pavlova. Everything you said was correct. You absconded during one of your ballet company's performances in order to escape your homeland. Later that same night, you stole aboard this vessel, which couldn't have been easy. The Bury is a huge steamship with a vast crew. Bat the eyelashes a few times, people won't notice the thing. Actually, no, people won't notice that really, really well. But someone definitely helped. Could she really have snuck on board without being noticed? In order to obscure your true identity, you somewhat recklessly took the guise of an old gentleman. And you intended to sever all links with your past by severing your long hair. Yet to a woman, hair is no trifling matter. My personal recommendation is to leave well alone. So, if it was just you about to cut off your own hair, who was it that let out that scream we heard from outside the Oh, you know what? I'll be honest. Kind of forgot about the scream for a second. I think it's still her. That's a veritable tinkling of a bell. Why, none other than yes, young lady, naturally. I messed up that whole line in multiple ways, but we're just gonna keep going. More like a full set of pipes, if you ask me. I was so scared when I ran in Shanghai. I was sure they would come looking for me. That's why I decided to, how do you say, disgust myself? So no one would recognize me. Very close. Close. Words a little bit off. As a result, you transform yourself into that questionable old man? I see. I put on the fur hat and fake beard. And just before you came in here, I saw in the newspaper, right on the page, there was a picture of me. Having her hair down like that and having a whole outfit change, she looks real different. I think it makes her look older. But also, difference between the actual model and the picture. But anyway, well, it's all pictures. What am I talking about? I was so frightened I couldn't stop from screaming. I knew that if I didn't change my appearance completely, they would find me. So I decided to cut all my hair as fastly as possible. I picked up the scissors in my hand and... At that precise moment, we walked in through the annoyingly unlocked cabin door. He really wanted to bust down that door. I don't know if that's clear. I guess he lives on living through... He persists on being able to live out tropes. Because, that's fun. Things happen like that sometimes, don't they? Things do indeed happen like that from time to time. Are those two even talking about the same thing? Honestly, I don't know. There's just one more thing I'd like to know. What exactly do you have inside your traveling case? Snake. You are right. It is my dear friend inside. My only friend in the whole world. Snake. Please, don't tell anyone. If the captain finds out, if you say to any of the crew. Your secret is safe with us, I assure you. But in return... I just realized I'm way off on where I was with this voice last week. You must tell us in as much detail as you can master about the events of last night.
Yes, alright. I will tell you.
Finally getting some info that probably won't be super helpful, I don't know.
Well, Mr. Naruhodo? Wasn't it something Mr. Sholmes' great deduction?
Bitch, motherfucker, that was my deduction! He was wrong about all the important bits. I solved the mystery. I am the world's greatest detective. He is a bumbling buffoon. People love him, though. Both in their world and in ours. Because you know what? He's a well-meaning buffoon. It was certainly something, yes. I was not entirely sure what. But at least Miss Pavlova... Pavlova? Is it Pavlova or Pavlova? I think it's Pavlova. But at least Miss Pavlova has agreed to tell us what she knows. That's incredible. Indeed, it is incredible. And one more thing. Yes? What? More thing? Observe your wrist. The handcuffs are back on, aren't they? Bit. Your hands are cuffed together. Okay, look. Are you a detective or a magician? Make up your mind. What? But how? True to my word, I've restored your shackles. When and why?
There is still a shadow of guilt cast over you, Mr. Naruhodo. I'm sorry to say, it can't be helped at the moment.
Can't it?
Anyway, let's listen to what Miss Pavlova has to say. I can't go on not knowing. I have to find out what the speckled band that Kazuma-sama wrote about in his diary really was.
Open up the thing. Let it show a snake. Show me a snake.
Let me see. Don't touch!
Huh?
I will tell you what I know about last night, but please, you must not touch my things. How do you say, forbid it.
You know what? Completely fair. But also, I need you to tell me what the animal is. This is very important. Oh, I'm sorry. As well you should be, young man. What vulgar manners you have. Alright, you know what? Fair. Poking around in a young lady's private belongings. Neither shall I allow it. Ugh. Hypocrite. Because he was very much doing that earlier. Alright, what else? Wait, am I... Oh! Are you talking about her or are you talking about me? No, I don't. I think you're talking about her. Also, hello. Welcome, Lexus. Me? What do you mean, me? Fine, whatever. What happened last night, Pavlova? My whole... Okay, look here, you. I didn't mean to be mumbly. Hold on. Oh, that's going to live on forever in the chat section of this video. Thank you. Do you know that someone was killed in the cabin next door to this one last night?
One of the crewmen told me this morning when I was eating breakfast.
The man who died, he was a friend of mine. Oh, that's why we're trying to find out what happened. Did you notice anything unusual last night? Did your snake leave? Thank you. Did your snake... Because I know it's a snake in there. Show me the snake here. That's going to come up in the trial. Is the snake's going to come out and I'm going to be like, there it is. There's the band. Or, plot twist, not a snake. Or even if it is, not the culprit.
Perhaps you heard this. Perhaps you heard a strange noise, for example. Perhaps people talking.
Perhaps the ship was absorbed in a wild tempest. Perhaps the steam engine exploded.
Mr. Dumbass,
if the steam engine exploded, we would not be here right now, thank you. Perhaps everyone on board would have noticed that had happened.
Miss Pavlova, is there anything you can tell us?
Also, I love that you can see the disappointment in my model. It's just when I read that.
I don't know. I'm sorry. But all I could think about last night was what I had done and whether they would find me. I didn't notice anything that was happening around me.
Oh, I see. Okay, you know what? We'll end on the friend there. You've run away from your ballet company, haven't you? The Novovich Ballet?
Yes. I'm traveling to Great Britain, and from there, I want to go to America. I will never dance again. I want to forget everything about the ballet. I will start a new life.
You wish to forget? A challenging proposition. When you have that striking tiara as a reminder.
But the tiara is mine. I need it to live.
Gonna sell it and make some money. Probably.
I have no money. Up there it is. I have no money of my own. The Novovich Ballet gives us only a little food and water. We must dance all over the world. I had to run away. I had no choice. If I stayed, it would have killed me.
Don't overwork your employees and your artist.
So you ran away to protect yourself? Yes. I'm the crew of the ship. They have all been kind to me.
Will do. Go lurking.
They let me come on board, and they said I could hide in this cabin.
If that is indeed the truth, Miss Pavlova, it creates a most intriguing conundrum.
Yes, it does.
Because she said don't let them know,
and don't tell the captain. What do you think about it, Mr. Naruhodo?
Me? Well, yes, of course. I think we should hear Miss Pavlova's explanation. To what conundrum, I'm not sure, but... Miss Pavlova, allow me to pose you a riddle. According to this newspaper, it was only yesterday that you absconded from the ballet. Now, that being the case, it must have been last night that you boarded this vessel. However, I have a feeling this is not at all the voice I was doing for him before. However, the SS Birdia stopped by no port last night.
Ah, that's it, of course. Oh, you know what? There's a reason Ryunosuke wouldn't know this. And that's because he was fucking asleep the whole night.
So how is it, pray, that you came to be aboard? Come to be aboard?
Now that I think about it, the crewmen outside the cabin acted very strangely when we mentioned that. It was just after we asked him about when the occupant of this cabin came aboard.
That is not your business.
Right, I forgot about beef. Mr. Stroganoff himself. Not a whole lot of... Doesn't look like he has a whole lot of like noodles in that beef stroganoff, but dear God, is it just so much meat. Might as well be a goddamn steak.
Yes, you're right, he did seem to be hiding something.
An angel descended from the heavens, bringing grace and beauty to the stage.
Sorry? What was that?
It is how the Russian newspapers described one of my performances. And that is how I came here too. I descended from the heavens, because I am an angel.
Okay, hold on. Here's the fun theory. The fun theory is she parachuted out of a helicopter or something. Considering English isn't your mother language, your description is very vivid.
Mr. Sholmes said, I never can resist a touch of the dramatic. It seems Miss Pavlova is the same.
A genius descended from the heavens, bringing grace and beauty to detection. Words once said about myself. A himbo descended from that tree, bringing tomfoolery and comedy to detection. Words often said about himself. A quote from my wonderfully extravagant advertisement for The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, in fact. Yes, Mr. Showy. Anyway, it doesn't look like Miss Pavlova is going to tell us what really happened. So let's ask about this friend instead. So the friend you mentioned is inside your traveling case, is that right? I don't think animals are allowed on board according to the rules of passage. Oh, please, don't tell any of the crew, if they found my precious. Then the burly Russians would bestir themselves in unison to throw you and your case overboard, no doubt. Ah! Don't scare her. So reassuring, Mr. Soames. But what sort of pet is your friend? A little puppy? It is, isn't it? Maybe an adorable little rabbit. Ha! You credit Russia. Hold on. You credit Russia as a land with small rabbits, do you? Oh, don't they have small rabbits there then? You may well ask. I have no idea. You two are miserable bunglers when it comes to the understanding of the nature of young ballerina's friends. Isn't it obvious? I'm not even going to dignify this by repeating it in the voice I've been giving him. He doesn't deserve it. Really? Consider the benefits. A rousing wake-up call, daily fresh eggs, and when adversity strikes, it could satisfy the needs of sustenance. So you'd eat your friends. I'll remember that. Well, it would appear this friend's identity is a closely guarded secret not to be revealed. I don't know how we became friends. Now I do know exactly how. She obviously doesn't quite trust us yet. There's something I should like to show her, I think. Maybe she might be able to shed some light on it. Very well then. Show me. Wait, no, not this. I need a back one. What do you think of this? Miss Pavlova, about this article. Did you know about this merciless revolutionary already? No. But when I saw the picture, I couldn't believe it. He looks just like me in my disguise. Huh? Am I the little around here with eyes? The other man, the one wearing the brown, he also said so. He said we look the same. Yes, he says a lot of things. I have a strong feeling that besides you and the great detective, you won't find another soul in this ocean who thinks there's any similarity there at all. Okay, no. Similarity, yes. Exact, no. Mr. Naruhodo, I won't allow you to speak ill of Mr. Sholmes. No, I wouldn't dream of it. But I'd certainly do it to his face. Here, what do you know about this? Yep, no, that means there's nothing. I don't know anything. That's fair, you know what? That's a very frightening image. I should not have shown her a dead body. So instead, this is the diary of my friend who passed away. His diary? Yes, and he wrote in it last night before he died. Something a little unusual. It reads, 1:23 a.m. I can hear a faint whistling sound. And then a few minutes later, 1:35 a.m. What looks like some sort of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill. A speckled band? I don't understand. Now here's the problem. Because English is not her first language, I don't think she fully understands what a speckled band is and the fact that it's the goddamn snake. It's strange, isn't it? But the ventilator he mentions joins this cabin, you see. Right over there. It's up there on the wall. In other words, this cabin and the victim's cabin are connected together. Oh. Miss Pavlova, has something occurred to you? Does the speckled band the victim mentioned mean anything to you? Or the whistling sound, perhaps? No. I don't know anything. Oh. Well, yeah, nope, I tried. I very much. Uh-oh, we're in trouble. Excuse me, wait, no. Excuse me, Mr. Roylet. Yes, what? Yes, what? I want to get, now that we know the truth behind this character.
Her voice is up here.
Yes, what? Try and make the deeper by also staying high. This is very difficult. This does not work for me when my natural voice is much lower than this. Captain would like to speak with you. You must come to Captain's quarters at once. Please. Alright, I will come now. I love how the model of this one still has the scissors being held. What? You must leave. No. Oh, no, it's fine. Don't mind us.
Yes, please don't worry yourself, Mr. Roylet.
Get out! You passenger said out, or do you want me to throw you out? Ugh. Looks like we'll have to leave investigating this cabin until later.
What a pity.
I just need to see the snake. And so we lost our chance. Having still not managed to investigate Miss Pavlova's cabin, we were unceremoniously chased out. That is to say, we were quite literally picked up and thrown into the passageway outside. To be continued. Oh, we were that close? Oh, well. That's fine. Alright, so. Current thoughts of this adventure. Sorry, I get this. Whatever. Yeah, no. Bad naps. Bad naps. Stay away from me and my stuff. Okay. So I remember last time having thoughts of like, maybe it was a poison gas. Maybe. Well, okay. It's also called the Unbreakable Speckled Band. There could be a snake, and the band could also have been like straight up a hose for the poison gas. If there was poison gas, there's no evidence of that, other than the fact that the only evidence we have of it potentially being a gas is that Ryunosuke also had some head stuff going on. January 9th, SS Buria, first class cabin passageway. I wish we hadn't been thrown out like that. I wish we managed to find some clues as to what that speckled band might be. We didn't manage to investigate at all. And I imagine that we won't be able to for a while longer. We'll never get past that sailor guarding the door. He's clearly glaring at us as to say, don't even think about it. It's like, don't even think about it. Oh, wait a minute.
What is it?
Well, what happened to our great detective friend? Where did he go?
Oh, yes, he's completely disappeared. When did he do that? He really is a magician.
And he still has the key. He slipped away as quietly as the wind, but not before ensuring these were securely back on my wrists. Annoying bastard. Oh, hey, look. Wait. Book on table. The table there really is huge. Yes, I'm sure that's shipped long, so we have a little look through it. It's right, so needs to video with the words and take us to record. Oh, we've already seen this. It just didn't have the check mark on it, so. Anyway, look here. Last night's log is mostly blank. Presuming that means there's nothing to report. Except that's not how this works. Alright, well, if you're going to guard that door, we'll just go out this one.
That door leads to the second class area.
It's locked. Can't open it.
No, well, that stands to reason. No one wants to let the murderer escape.
Gosh, she gave me a very stern look when she said that.
You know, to be so rude.
Mr. Beef Stroganoff, can we talk to you for a moment? If we had a chance to look around in Miss Pavlova's cabin. What? Why you look like that? You want something? Maybe you want me to throw you out again,
Oh, no, definitely not that.
Next time I have to throw you out, I show you where lobsters spend winter. Understand?
I understand, sort of. Like, I understand it'd be very bad. I feel like I don't completely understand, like, where that is. Maybe I should steer clear of him until he's forgotten my face. I don't think he'll ever forget your face, Naruhodo-san. No, that doesn't seem possible. First class cabin number 1. Yep, that's our cabin. Not our cabin, it's Kazuma-sama's. Sorry? Your accommodation is confined to the wardrobe inside the cabin. You know how to make a stowaway feel small, don't you? Small as the wardrobe I've been calling home. And again, not entirely my idea. Blame Kazuma. Anyway, wonder if Inspector Hosonaga has managed to uncover any new clues. Oh, right, we left him in there. Yes, we should probably find him and ask. We shall never be able to... Yeah, let's just go back into our regular cabin.
January 9th. SS Buria. First class cabin number 1.
Looks like they're still investigating in here. Yes, on that subject, I wonder if Inspector Hosonaga is unscathed.
What do you mean, unscathed?
Surely you haven't forgotten, have you, Naruhodo-san?
I mean, it was like a week ago.
Don't you remember what he said about allowing you out of the cabin to investigate? He was going to talk to the captain about it. He said he'd lay his life on the line for you.
Oh, right.
Oh, yes.
But I'm sure he was exaggerating.
Let's see what he has to say for himself. He might have some new information for us. You never know.
Well, let's see what's new.
You there, sir.
Yo.
Where did you go? Oh, sorry. I just went to the next door cabin to investigate. Who gave you permission for this? Seaman Hosonaga did?
That new Japanese, was it? They said, roll him into a ball and throw him in the cold room.
Phew. He's going back to guarding the door. I hope Inspector Hosonaga doesn't find himself in too much trouble on our account. He's really gone out of his way to help us, hasn't he? When we get back to Japan, we'll have to take him for a steak at the Carnival. That could be a very long time from now, Naruhodo-san. Sure, we're all in this together now to head back to... So it's clear that these letters were written with the ink that was somehow spelled on the floor, and they spelled the Russian word for wardrobe. It does seem to be an unambiguous pointer to you, Naruhodo-san, as you were sleeping in there. Mother dumb motherfuckers. Seal on the door. How the fuck would I have done that? But to be truly ambiguous, it should have spelled out my name, don't you think? Well, either way, one fact remains. It's hard to imagine that Kazuma-sama would have written his last words or word in Russian. Which begs the question, who did write it? Even if he did know Russian, I can't foresee him writing it in Russian for the sake of the crew to read it. Like, I don't know why. It just doesn't make sense. Let's see here. Haven't we already looked at this? There's nothing on this table at all. The plate and cutlery are all over the floor for some reason. Yes, it's strange. Last night when I went to sleep, I'm sure everything was still... No, wait a minute. What is it? That's funny. I can't seem to remember anything about what happened after dinner at all. It was, okay, not poison gas. There was something in the food. Okay, hold on. Ryunosuke, okay, Kazuma doesn't like chicken. We ate the entire chicken. There was something in that chicken meant for Kazuma that we ate. That's why we were knocked out for the rest of the night. But Kazuma didn't eat it. So, he was fine. He didn't have whatever the knockout drugs, whatever they were. So there was a struggle involved. It wasn't a clean kill. So then perhaps, are you responsible for what happened? You are responsible for what happened to Kazuma-sama. No.
Gosh, stop coming to that conclusion. Oh my dear lord, my dude. Holy hell, are you okay? The ventilator joins Pavlova's cabin. Yes, that's right. Just a few minutes before he died, Kazuma saw something emerging from it. The speckled band, as he described it. If only Miss Pavlova had been able to shed some light on it, but she seemed as baffled as we are. Yes, I wonder if she's telling us everything, though. She's not. As Ace Attorney, they never do. I'm not sure. I know most people would say the same about me, but there's something about that woman that didn't sit right with me. This is where Kazuma spent his final moments, writing his diary. 1:23 a.m. I can hear a faint whistling sound. 1:35, what looks like some sort of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill. Looking at his writing here on this page, it's almost impossible to believe that he's gone. Kazuma-sama left us a valuable clue in these words, I'm sure of it. We have to solve this mystery, Naruhodo-san. We will. Or die trying. Because after all, I am the one on trial. Holy shit, my dude! Yeah, punched in... Yeah, big old black eye. Big old clock to the jaw. Your glasses are broken. Please tell me you have extra pairs. Did this help your cough any? You're back. Inspector! What happened to you? Your face is... Please, don't worry about it. They're just scratches. No, that's a black eye. That's not a scratch. That's a bruise. Maybe by a bear, maybe. I told the captain that I'd given you permission to investigate. He told me he'd pummel me with his fist and then toss me overboard. What? But the pummeling was over in a flash. He must have decided against throwing me overboard. So it was nothing, really. Looks like he wasn't joking when he said he'd lay his life on the line if he had to. Well, thanks to your efforts, we now know a little about the neighboring cabin. Yes, so I understand. Oh? Oh? I bumped into a man claiming to be a great detective a little while ago. I think his name is something like Herlock Sholmes. Herlock Sholmes. I don't think he was German, though. That explains it. Shall we compare notes then? We can tell you what we found out. Yes, let's do it. You poor bastard. You are so beat to shit. What? Nikolina Pavlova? She's in the cabin next door. Oh, do you know who she is? Hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. Bang up. Please, what self-respecting ballet fan wouldn't know that graceful angel? You know what? I would say I'm not surprised. I'm glad that you're getting some joy out of this. Oops, I think I upset him there. Oh, I think I missed a phrase real fast. There she is. What self-respecting fan wouldn't know? Okay. Well, that tells us the neighboring cabin is unrelated to the case at least. Oh? How? Because angels don't around committing crimes, do they? I mean... There was that one time when they kind of interfered with Major League Baseball games. That's probably illegal to some degree. Oops, no, I've definitely upset him. Inspector, has your investigation here proved fruitful? If I'm honest, there's very little more I can do. Our duty is to make sure the scene isn't disturbed, ready to hand over to the Hong Kong police. So I'm just keeping watch here, trying not to take my eyes off the job. Oh, I see. There is one thing. I do have a small piece of new information for you. Oh? What? Yes, do tell us, Inspector, please! What is this new information you have, Inspector? It's this. The Buria's medical officer has finished his examination of the body. I managed to obtain the reports. Oh, Kazuma's post-mortem report?
Kazuma-sama.
So, what was the cause of death? Damage to the cervical vertebrae. That's what's written in the report. The spine? Cervical. Which one's the cervical? Is that to the brain? Cervical vertebrae.
His neck? Okay, I was thinking about the neck, but I wasn't sure. His neck was broken?
If his neck was broken, he would not have been able to write out a word, especially not in Russian. Yes, it would seem so. There are no obvious wounds or other signs of injury, so at first I think they were considering poison. But it turns out they found no trace of poison in the system at all.
Well, what weapon was used then? The weapon of grab the head and turn 90 degrees and real really fast. Cervical is nowhere near the neck. That's the thing I'm trying to think about where cervical is. Oh! God damn it! Fucking... Incorrect! You are very, very far off there. Oh, I'm annoyed that I got it, and I'm annoyed that it took as long as it did. I don't know which one's worse.
Nothing has been found as yet, but the fact that there are no signs of a wound suggests it may have been a blunt object, something that wouldn't leave a mark. Oh, I see.
All the body's nerves run through the spine to the brain. A strong enough impact to the neck could induce death. It is a possibility, and no obvious wound would be left.
Poor Kazuma.
But here's the important matter. Is it one of those instant death scenarios? I gotta know.
I have a second copy of the report. If it might be useful, you're welcome to have it.
Really? Are you sure?
Yes, it's fine. I trust you.
My dude.
Thank you, Alexis.
Yes, I know what the word you're getting is.
We shall not repeat it. After all, if I didn't trust you, I'd never have agreed to you leaving this cabin in the first place, would I?
Ah. The post-mortem report has been entered into the court record.
I'm gonna take a look at that. Middle, Far Eastern, time of death sometime between 1 a.m. and a little past 2 a.m. Resulting in instant
There. Mother of God. Instant death. Now I have to be the one to point out at least twice. At least twice. I'm going to have to point out that it's instant death, and he would not have been able to write down that word in Russian. I know I'm going to have to.
But that's fine. Also, I haven't looked at people yet. Susato Mikotova, age 16, judicial assistant is traveling. Epitome of a refined Japanese lady. Herlock Sholmes. Little person as well as heard the famous great... Not a person, except me, apparently. Satoru Hosonaga, 29, chief inspector. Beef Stroganov. Real wall of a man, a senior member of the Russian crew. Grimesby Roylet. Staying in the first class cabin. Real name? Nikolina Pavlova. Young ballerina who's fled her homeland of Russia to escape the Nikovich Valley. Novovich, not Nikovich. Alright.
Oh, Mr. Sholmes was here, wasn't he?
Yes, he seemed to be enjoying himself a little too much as he crept about on the floor investigating. But then he suddenly left. I suppose he must have become bored.
Did he say anything at all?
Actually, now you mention it, yes. Just one thing, but he practically shouted it. It's shoe polish, was all he said.
Shoe polish? I wonder what he meant.
It was when he was over there, by the piece of broken glass. Do you see?
Perhaps he was talking about this brick-colored mark, do you think?
Yes, that must be it.
You're an inspector. Okay, that's fine.
That's fine. Everyone in this world except for you is an incompetent idiot. And even you're like half an incompetent idiot. But how can Mr. Sholmes know that it's shoe polish? That leaves me cold, I'm afraid. I have no idea. What is it, Sasada-san?
Well, Kazuma-sama was wearing leather shoes with a very dark tan hue.
Dark tan? A sort of dark brownish red, then?
Yes, a little like the color of red wine, but darker. I often repaired them for him.
Oh, does this mean that this mark was made by the polish on Kazuma's shoe as they scuffed the floor? In other words, I think he might have been moved after death. Another thing to be like, no, he was not the one who wrote out the word on the floor. That's another thing. I wish his body was here so I can investigate his fingers to get a better look at the actual distribution of ink on his hand. And to see if it makes sense. The answer is it probably wouldn't. That's really all I can tell you at this stage. I'm also going to dump that down just a bit. Sorry, I was looking at audio stuff real fast. I should return to my post. My fellow crewmen's eyes are boring into the back of my head. Yeah, that might be for the best. Thank you.
Poor Inspector. You look exhausted.
Oh, no. Well, I feel terrible that I failed to protect Asoge-san. He was my responsibility. Of course, my pain is nothing compared to yours. You were his friends. The truth is, I seem to have had a heavy head ever since I woke this morning.
Did you eat that chicken last night, Hosonaga?
A heavy head? That's interesting. My head's still throbbing, too. Son of a bitch, let me talk. Damn it. There may have been no poison in Kazuma's system. I'm pretty damn sure there's some in mine.
It really is such a beautiful color, this glass.
It looks like whatever it was has broken clean in two. The other half is nowhere to be seen.
And there's this brick-colored mark,
which is shoe polish, according to that great detective you seem to know all about.
I suppose it must be from Kazuma-sama's shoes.
Maybe. But what I'd like to know is, how can the detective be so sure that it's shoe polish and not something else?
Because he's a great detective, of course. That's hardly a reason, is it?
Like, Sherlock Holmes at least knows how to give a reason. All the books provided for passengers occupying this cabin neatly arranged on the shelf. They were all over the place when we first looked around, if you remember. Oh yes, you tidied them up, didn't you?
You have to look after the ship's property. Unruly behavior in the cabins leads to damage.
But it really wasn't me who knocked them over.
Well, anyway, I feel much better now they're neatly lined up. I can't relax when things are untidy.
Well, don't look around you, whatever you do. The rules of passage for travel aboard the SS Brudia. Passengers must not keep weapons or other dangerous objects in their cabins. Pets are also strictly forbidden. So by bringing your pet on board, Miss Pavlova has broken the rules.
She called it her friend, didn't she?
Yes. Oh, we don't know what form this friend takes as yet.
I'm almost certain that whatever it is, it's inside the traveling case in her cabin.
Friend. There's more to this than it seems, I think. Except for maybe presenting something to Hosonaga. We're kind of at a loss. Nope, not anymore. We're good.
Look, the Hoda-san. Seaman Stroganoff is gone.
Strong enough? Wait.
The burly Russian sailor who's always crossing his arms and glaring at us.
Ugh, all these Russian names are impossible to remember. Cha-la-la? Did you hear that? It sounded like someone singing. Cha-la-la-la-la-la. Oh. I did this the great detective way. Hold on. How do I add a British accent when you're singing? Ta-la-la-la-la-la. I did it the great detective way. I did it. Do you add an accent? Oh, no, that's Russian. Do you add an accent? The great detective way.
That's caroling. I know that lark-like voice.
Well, never mind that now. This is a golden opportunity for us.
Yes, you're right. We must seize it.
Let's get inside Miss Pavlova's cabin while we can and investigate. Definitely, before that string-knot crewman comes back.
It's Stroganoff, not string-knot.
How do you mess it up that badly? And she should be with the captain, so we should have free reign. January 9th. Still. Miss Pavlova isn't back yet. She saw us on... Oh, where's she gone? Hey, what are you doing? Those are her private things. There's not a moment to waste now, Hoda-san. We must investigate as quickly as possible. Okay, first thing I'm noticing. Oh shit, the case is open. Oh no, the... Mistakes free. I suppose you're right, for Kazuma's sake. Not just for Kazuma-sama. What do you mean? It can't be long now until we arrive at port. In Hong Kong. I don't want you to be in those handcuffs when we get there. Aw, she's starting to care about us. How sweet. Really? We must solve this case, don't Hoda-san? By ourselves if we have to, and we will. Lord knows no one else will. Yes, yes we will. All the books have been toppled together. Look. Every single one. Do you think that's the god of the sea, perhaps? He's toppled too, though. Exactly the same as the bookcase next door, in Kazuma's cabin. Perhaps Miss Pavlova was practicing a difficult ballet pose and fell against the bookcase. Well, here's the problem. I'm the lawyer. I'm also the defendant. Again. So, I don't have a lawyer yet. Unless I just do it myself, because I will. I don't know. Would she really be practicing ballet on the same night she ran away from her ballet company? Alright then. It must have been you. You lost your temper and knocked them all over in a fit of rage? No! Not everything the bad that happens on the ship is because of me, you know. Well, anyway, I'll set them all straight again here, too. I don't like seeing things in disarray. I feel like we shouldn't be messing with that, but okay, sure. Hey, let's check out her friend. Uh-oh. Oh my, Miss Pavlova's case is open. It's completely empty inside. But according to the great detective's great deduction, she was hiding her special friend in here. Yes, a friend that she had to keep secret. Because you're not allowed to bring animals aboard the SS Budia. I wonder what kind of animal she had in there. And more to the point, where is it now? Naruhodo-san, are you there? Sorry, I'm right here. Yes? Why? Oh, good. I thought you might have climbed into the wardrobe when I wasn't looking. There's no place like home. Dorothy, I swear to God. Believe me, I don't have some strange compulsion to jump inside every wardrobe I see, you know. Well, anyway, I'm not sure anyone could fit inside this one. It's full of beautiful outfits. I suppose they're all stage costumes. I was rather hoping we might find Miss Pavlova's friend hiding in there, but no such luck. Now, I'm going to assume that this food was left out specifically for the friend to eat. Wait. The friend could have eaten chicken too. Which means that the snake didn't kill. Yeah, well, we also know it wasn't poison, so. Okay, the headache we now attribute to the chicken. The death we attribute to someone. The blow to the back of the head. I wonder what this little saucer is doing on the floor. Yes, it doesn't look like it's been dropped. More like it was put there deliberately. Do you think there could be a leak in the roof just above here? What? A leak? Is this ship quite safe? I'm sure that even if there's a little leak in the roof, it doesn't mean the whole ship is going to sink. No, you're right. Of course you're right. She's really trying to persuade herself, isn't she? It would seem this teapot is empty. So the natural conclusion is that the Russians are very thirsty people. Or, because Miss Pavlova only came to this cabin last night, she hasn't had the chance to make any tea yet? I mean, it could be either. It's definitely that they're excessively thirsty. I'd lay 1,000 to 1 on it. You're rather obstinate, aren't you, Narho-san? Don't call me out like this. Okay. Check the trash can. I suppose every cabin has a waste paper basket. Shall we have a look and see what's been thrown away? Narho-san, it's poor etiquette to go siphoning through someone's rubbish, you know. Ugh, those eyes. She's looking at me like I'm a piece of rubbish now. However, these are special circumstances, I think. Exactly, we have no choice. There's hardly anything in here at all. Oh, well, that's a little disappointing. Why were you more excited for that than me? There are just a few books on the desk, nothing else by the looks of it. Well, Miss Pavlova only ran away from the ballet last night. She's hardly occupied this cabin for any time at all. That's true. I wonder what kind of book she likes to read. Let me see. Yes, I see. It would seem that the Miss Pavlova enjoys reading books written in Russian. Why did I have a feeling that was going to be the answer? Thanks. I think I probably already knew that. It's rude to ask too much people in our Narho-san. Kindly remember that. I also didn't ask you to tell me what kind of books you liked. You kind of took it upon yourself. Now let's check out that grate. The grill. The ventilator. So this ventilator connects to Kazuma's cabin next door. Yes, although what a fool a shipbuilder must be to open a ventilator into another room. Maybe. So there's a gas leak next door, the occupant of this cabin would notice and raise the alarm. Or the occupants of both cabins would die of gas poisoning. That is a possibility. Anyway, last night Kazuma wrote that he saw a speckled band coming out of this ventilator. Can we get up there and take a look? Oh my god. Yes, they're displayed in this cabin too. Look, the rules of passage. Passengers must not keep weapons or other dangerous objects in their cabins. Pets are also strictly forbidden. I suppose Miss Pavlova realized that she needed to keep the contents of her case a secret after she read this. Her special friend, I mean. I wonder where her friend has disappeared to now. It's probably having fun exploring the ship, I imagine. I just hope Seaman Stroganoff doesn't find it and throw it overboard. Oh, yes, so do I. The cabin door is a simple has the same simple sort of bolted latch that our cabin door has. If the bolt's run across, there's no way anyone can enter the cabin from outside. Yes, it's not a particularly heavy-duty bolt, is it? But still, it wouldn't slide across of its own accord, would it? No, and the door is made of metal, so there's no chance of trickery using magnets to unbolt it from the outside. Oh, shit. Right, I forgot that we were dealing with a locked room mystery. I'll be honest, I completely forgot about that. That's an issue that my brain ignored for a while. And it seals up perfectly too, to stop any seawater coming in. So you couldn't use the method you told me of passing a thread through the crack around the closed door either. I seem to know about a lot of tricks for opening doors. I'm starting to see why they suspect me. Well, shoot, we're in a bit of a pickle, aren't we? There's one of those next to the bed in Kazuma's cabin, too. Yes, it's a bell cord. I can't resist. She barely hesitated there. She gave it a good tug, too. No, I didn't actually expect anyone to come. We don't want them to! We're trying to investigate in secret! Oh, sorry. There's nothing more to do here. Let's go run around a bit, see what we can find out. There's gotta be something I'm missing. Did I get anything from the... I got that. That's the only thing I got from... There's not really much to glean from this, is there? Brain no worky. Brain don't know what to do. Because I've already got this. There's gotta be something I'm missing. Because all of that's already marked. I don't know what's wrong with my brain. Well, I've been going for an hour, but for some reason I'm just a little bit out of it. the fuck? Something's wrong. I know something's wrong, but why can't I find it? Hello, clues. Where you at? This is very weird. There you are, you dumb fool. Oh, Mr. Sholmes, look. Wow, you never really know where he's going to turn up next, do you? He seems to be stealing a look at something as he sings to himself. Tra-la-la-ti-la-la-play, I did it the great detective way. He's still singing. Do you think he hasn't noticed us? Or he's simply in extremely high spirits? Yes, there were times, I'm sure you knew, when the yard bit off more than it could chew. And through it all, when there was doubt, it's lucky her luck was about. Excuse me. I solved it all and I stood tall. I did it the great detective way. Mr. Sholmes! Ha! What is it? You want to fight? Well, put up your dukes. I will let you know that I made it all the way to a white belt in boxing back home. Isn't that white belt the first one? Have at ye! Honestly, interrupting a fellow while he's singing. I was just about to reach the climactic finish. Sorry, I thought you were never going to stop, so I figured now as good a time as any. I very nearly dropped to the floor with one of my famous right hooks. Dropped you to the floor. Alright, I get the picture. Now could you put those fists away? Mr. Sholmes, you seem to be examining something before we interrupted you. Ah, yes, that. I was immersed in study of the ship's log as penned by the stockily built crewman who's usually on guard here. Oh yes, the ship's log. And did you find anything useful from it? Well, after 2 a.m. this morning, the majority of the entries are blank. Which means that there was nothing to report. Nothing of note happened, so... You truly are students from the land of the rising sun. You've been utterly blinded by it. Sorry? Your logic, my boy, is inverted. What do you mean, Mr. Sholmes? Observe the other pages, and all shall become clear. It would seem the same crewman often stands sentry in this first-class passageway, and he has an almost religious practice of recording nothing to report every half hour. Oh, he writes that in every 30 minutes? Nothing to report? Precisely. Put simply, the seaman writes nothing to report when there's just that. And yet, the ship's log from last night is largely blank. He didn't even write nothing to report. Do you mean... Yes, there were circumstances afoot last night which led to the seaman being absent from his post. What kind of circumstances? What happened? That, or he purposely didn't mark anything. That remains a mystery for now. We can be sure something significant took place. So significant that it caused the seaman to forget his regular habit of scribbling nothing to report in the log. These are important details. I would stake my life on it. You must log the ship's log in your mental file. Record kept by the crew assigned to the first-class cabin. There are virtually no entries from 2 a.m. until early this morning. Sorry, I'm kind of slinking down in my chair a bit. I think I need to get up and stretch. That might help. One moment. Posture check. Okay. Ah, blah. 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 I have stood, I have stretched. Something just don't feel right in my body. Think I need more. Think I need to oil up the joints. They're so stiff. Look at how they never move. Now that's deduction. Now that was a deduction. I mean, yes, but also, Alexis, if it was anyone but you, you'd be banned. You'd be fucking no, probably not banned, but no. If it were anyone but you, they might also. Yeah, I don't know. Ah, you're starting to understand what my way is, I see. What makes Shomes Shomes. Brilliant! Yeah, see, now this is... okay, you know what? I call this man a himbo. He most certainly is. But he does have his moments, I will grant him that. Oh. What is it? Are you hurt? Oh, don't worry yourself. I seem to be afflicted with a throbbing head this morning for some reason. Nothing more. Okay, so, if it was just me and just Hosonaga, I could chalk it up to just that one chicken. Because, you know, he might have taste tested it for poison and whatnot and failed. But this motherfucker finally gave himself a headache too. So, everyone who had that chicken is probably going through the same thing right now. It's just serious. Well, my friends, until our next encounter. He's still singing to himself. I can hear it as he wanders off down the passageway. Are you noticing what I'm picking up on, Susato? Is something wrong, Susato-san? You seem lost in thought. It's just... well, I feel the same. Sorry? Ever since I woke this morning, I've had something of a headache. And you didn't mention this before. Why? Why? A sort of continuous throbbing. Oh, you too? And that makes 4. 1 is an individual, 2 is a coincidence, 3 is a pattern, 4 is like, okay, what the fuck's happening here? That dumbass took the log. There's a his cabin. This could be our chance. What? Burly Sailor doesn't appear to be around at the moment. We've already seen this. It's just for whatever reason. Something new has probably changed. A lot of back and forth going on here. A lot of back and forth. Ah, what's that? Oh, that doesn't sound good. That sounds very, very bad. This is the kind of sound you don't want to hear on a ship. Shut down the engines immediately. Vessel sighted at Kotomino 4. Full stop. On the starboard. All hands, brace for impact. What the? I think we're about to crash into another ship. What? We're about to end up on ships? No, you know, let's not make that. No, that's fine. This isn't a real event. Ah! Now everyone's gonna have a real reason to have a fucking headache. Susato-san, are you alright? Are you injured at all? I think I'm fine. Thank you, Naruhodo-san. Okay, hold on to me, that happened. Looks like we avoided a collision. I think Yes, the ship has come to a stop.
Oh my goodness. What about you, Naruhodo-san? Are you hurt?
No, I'm fine. Hello? Is anybody in there? Shout if you need assistance. Oh, that sounds like... Inspector Hosonaga. Oh, I gave him the Russian voice. Is that you in there, Naruhodo-san? Unbolt the door, quickly! What? The bolt? Look at that, look at that. Okay. I know what happened last night. I know why he wasn't as post. I know why both the shelves were down. See, okay, initially, part of me was kind of like, trying to, maybe the snake was like crawling around it, but that doesn't make sense. Maybe it was maybe it was the ship just tossing and turning, but it's like, no, like a normal ship movement shouldn't be that much. But we've solved the mystery of the locked room. We've done it. Something happened last night while we were at passing by Shanghai. That has something to do with when Miss Pavlova got onto the ship. She descended from the heavens, whatever, don't know, weird. We'll figure out the exact specifics later. She got onto the ship. The ship did some weird, like, curving stuff. It had to maneuver real fast. It did so. It knocked over all the bookshelves, and it locked all the doors. Now, at this point, most doors would already be locked. Because, it's nighttime, and it's... everyone would be asleep between 2 and 6 o'clock, or whatever time it was. Everyone would be asleep whenever those movements were. We'll say 3 in the morning. Sure, why not? Most doors would have been locked already. Except for ones that I guess were still open. And, some people who might have still been awake. Who knows? But probably still locked. Except Kazuma's room. Someone came in, killed him, left the room. They didn't care about the locked door. That it wasn't a problem. That's probably why they put wardrobe. In order to put blame onto Naruhodo, who was over there. They just got super lucky with the events leading to locking the door. But no, wait. If the snake is the speckled band, then that means that Kazuma... No, in other words, it has nothing to do with Pavlova. Good thoughts, but no. Pavlova was on the ship before he died. We know that much. Yeah. No. She was already on the ship before 2 o'clock. But after 2 o'clock was definitely when whatever happened that they needed to swerve to avoid, they had to take evasive maneuvers similar to this, and it locked the door. Look at that. The door's bolted. Did you do that, Susanoo-san? No, I didn't touch it. Well, that's strange. How did... And look at all the books. They're just like they were before again. Naruhodo-san, aren't you going to open the door and let the inspector in? I'd better tidy this place up first. Our violent emergency stop had solved one mystery, at least, in a very vivid way. But I knew that what awaited us on the other side of the cabin door would not be pleasant. I hurried around, tidying up the cabin with a new sense of foreboding in my heart. To be continued. Part 3. Where's it, Part 4? I think it's, yeah. Investigation, Part 3. January 9th, SS Buria, Miss Pavlova's cabin. Pavlova. Somehow, the door to the cabin we were in ended up bolted after we made an emergency stop. Susanoo-san took a deep breath and gently slid back the bolt. You, what you are doing in Miss Pavlova's quarters? You both look unhurt. Good. Yes, we're fine, thank you. What on earth happened? We were something about how we were going to collide with another ship. Yes, it appears to have been a false report, though. Oh? How did that happen? There's a dense fog outside, so it was extremely difficult to see. Someone must have thought he saw a ship ahead. Ah. Okay. That happened last night, too. This person obviously triggered the alarm, and that's why we made the emergency stop. Everything is chaos. Passengers are screaming, crew are running everywhere. This first class area is the only quiet part of the ship at the moment. Oh, I see. Someone triggered the alarm? Does that mean that someone pressed that button outside? You wicked intruder! Dressed all in black! You are the devil! Sorry? Me? I've been called a lot of things before, but devil is a first. You opened my traveling case. How could you? What? No, we didn't touch it. That's right, Miss Pavlova. It was already open when we came into your cabin. Inspector. No, I was doing the wrong voice. Yes. Arrest. Hold on. Son of a goddamn bitch. Maybe she is guilty. Where was I? Arrest this man. I know he did it. He is a criminal. Is it not enough that he has killed him? Ah, shit. I liked you too. No, and he has a stowaway as well. A vixen promises not to steal chicken. Do you believe? Ugh. Take him away. He is a trespasser as well as everything else. Stowing away, trespassing, killing. She is right. You are devil. Oh, it doesn't look good, does it? The cell below deck. Throw him in. Tomorrow we dock in Hong Kong. Then we give you straight to police. Wait, a cell? Please, Inspector Hosonaga, is there nothing you can do? This is a Russian vessel. I really have no jurisdiction here. After my last effort to appeal to the captain's good nature, I think I'm out of options. This is terrible. This is a real crisis. I've got to find a solution. Immediately. We'll escape through the ventilator. Just to keep calm and focus on the task at hand, which is investigating. Don't touch my things. You want me to show you where crawfish hibernates? Hey, why? I was going for the ventilator. I was doing for nothing. Mr. Naruto, what do you think you're doing? Wow, everyone's attacking me. I was just starting to think she was my friend. What was that for, Sato? You coming out of this mess? Herlock, where's the idiot? Yes, yeah. Why was it upside down? Because we got fucking judo tossed by Susato again. Also, this man. I don't know what's up with this man. I wish I knew, to be completely honest. You got yourself into a difficult situation. I didn't get myself into anything. It's a K to block someone. Yeah. I'm enjoying this. Okay, fair enough. Sorry, I'm just so desperate to find a clue. I'm afraid there's really nothing more I can do to help you. If I push my luck any further, a punch to the face will be the least of my worries. I'm really sorry. I take responsibility for giving you the freedom to investigate Miss Pavlova's cabin. Now this has happened, I'll have to report to the captain at once. He is savior to rescue me. Oh god, I hate that. Why is this himbo my savior? Okay, but she's calling me a murderer. The feeling... I'm definitely... Is she the murderer? Is it really her? Listen, I'm sorry that we snuck in here without your permission, but... Alex, no. We just need to investigate here to help understand what happened to... Nope, I can't read that. Ugh, it's no use. She's not going to listen. Need to find someone who will, and it certainly won't be beef stroganoff over here. Alright. Damn it, Herlock. You're my only shot. What are you doing up there? Mr. Sholmes! Herlock, I have a question. Why are you wearing the tiara? Were you the one who opened up the case? Naturally, I was analyzing what a weight of 20,000 rubles feels like on one's head. Have I not told you that as a detective, it is my business to know what other people do not? This isn't mere tomfoolery, my boy. Oh, no, no. But why were you hanging from that hook before then? Isn't it obvious? To properly assess the weight of the 20,000 rubles, naturally. I wish to determine if it would bend that conceited-looking hook on the wall, so full of brag and bounce. Ugh, I never know whether to take this man seriously or not. You again, the great detective. Inspector, I confess I've been looking for you. I have something to report to you most urgently. Well, you might try looking for me somewhere other than a hook on the wall next time. What does do a report? Speak. An urgent report from a great detective can mean one thing. Yes. The case of the curious murder that took place last night here on this vessel, the steamship Buria, has been solved. By me, naturally. What? Really? Yes, I have eliminated all other possibilities. No other explanations exist. So, allow me to illuminate all your minds. For I am about to reveal my great detective's greatly admired great deduction to the case. Oh no. Oh no, we're doing it again. Oh, you have solved it. Even Edgog understands this case. We all knew who was responsible for killing Student Boy this morning when we found criminal in the wardrobe. It is the stowaway, and he has handcuffs to prove it. I didn't do it! You put the handcuffs on after everything. The trouble is, there doesn't appear to be anyone else who could have killed the victim. Because everyone knows the cabin door was bolted shut from the inside, of which we just fucking saw. Means fucking jack shit. That means the culprit must be someone who is inside the cabin. Yes, it's what's called a locked room mystery in detective stories. A locked room, that's his point. The room was locked. There. This motherfucking woman, this girl, this clever bastard of a little girl. She didn't know that the room was locked. She didn't know about the locked room mystery. In fact, she was surprised by it. Because why else? Because of course she was. She was the last one in that room after all. She left it completely unlocked. There's no way the bolt could have been drawn across from outside the cabin. You were all quite mistaken. The cabin next door is not a so-called locked room at all. What? Oh yes, there is another an entrance used last night by the culprits in order to gain access to the cabin despite the bolted door. Okay, what other entrance? We have never discovered one. Why, it gapes open mouth at you even as we speak. The ventilator man. The ventilator? Oh. You think this is funny? I cannot even put my arm through that hole. That's because your arms are as thick as tree trunks. You're suggesting that the culprit entered and left the victim's cabin through that tiny opening? It's not possible. Unless it was the snake. But it is. Wait, no. Called it. Holmes was the one who opened the case. She saw the snake. And last night, the victim even witnessed the intruder in the act of passing through the ventilator. She's so very confused. Mr. Sholmes, do you really mean? Are you referring to the words Kazuma wrote in his diary? 1:23 a.m. I can hear a faint whistling sound. 1:35. What looks like some sort of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill. Precisely, my dear madam. But what does it mean? What is this speckled band? The answer to that particular conundrum is in this very cabin. is in this very cabin. Mr. Sholmes? What are you doing? There's a distinct element of danger, but fear not, I am ready. What I am about to expose for you all to see will shock you to your cores. Behold! What the... Stroke it off, don't give a shit. Oh my goodness, I love that so much. Wow, her friend is so much bigger than I expected him to be. Now, again, here's a couple of things that we already know. The post-mortem report says there were no poison in his system. Now, it'd be kind of weird for it to do two cases in a row to be like, oh, it's just a poison you don't know about. Especially considering it's a Russian ship and a Russian girl had this snake that's probably a Russian snake. That's probably not what happened. So, the snake was definitely in Kazuma's room, but it was not what killed him. But it will definitely help us make our case help keep us alive for a little bit. I have a feeling the snake isn't actually poisonous. Allow me to introduce you all to the band. The Speckled Band. A snake? Indubitably. Also, if it was a snake, he would have had snake bite marks on his body somewhere, and he didn't, so... Mr. Sholmes, just one thing. Pray, what troubles you? Well, that snake isn't really speckled, is it? It looks more stripy, wouldn't you say? Shit, he's right. Fuck. No, that's a good point. I mean, it does... Yes, you're right. I think in this case you'd have to call it... the Striped Band, wouldn't you? They're making good points. I don't think it's going to help me any. Never mind. You will see and observe a distinction, however. Do you not think that is precisely the trap into which the culprit wishes you to fall?
Oh my goodness, really? It's a trap? How...
The snake is putting us into a trap. I don't think this is like one of those camouflage things. I think it is perhaps time I explain the intricacies of my train of thought. Are you ready, Miss Pavlova?
I'm sorry for the young man who died, but that is all. His death has nothing to do with me.
Oh, I haven't been doing the accent.
The whole thing has nothing to do with me.
There are two conclusions I've drawn from the facts. Number one. Last night, your friend infiltrated the victim's cabin. And number two, that same friend was responsible for the victim losing his life.
No.
She turned as white as a bowl of rice again. Someone must be right. He's hit the nail on the head. This young woman's friend killed Mr. Asogi. Well, at least we shot him up. Looks like he can't speak with that snake coiled around his head. I would advise as little movement as possible, Seaman. You wouldn't want the fangs of that long friend in your neck. So, everyone, let us begin. Herlock Sholmes is proud to present his logic and reasoning spectacular. Oh god, here we go again. Take two. Let's go. I need all hands on their spotlights. Make sure you know your cues. Let's get this show started. Miss Pavlova, moments ago you claimed the following. His death has nothing to do with me. The whole thing has nothing to do with me. Yet you cannot deceive yourself. Yes, when you recall those horrid events, your aching heart marched with pain. And it is that very pain that evidences your inextricable link to the victim's death. So we ask, what was the nature of this intruder that stole into the victim's cabin on that portentous night? Why, naturally, it was the friend with which you boarded this vessel, was it not? Ah, as I suspected, another telltale glance. Without doubt, your friend is the writhing serpent we see before us. Is there another snake on board? And yet, that fact leaves... because clearly now we know it's not this snake. And yet this fact leaves us in quite a quandary. That one doesn't even have fangs. The victim's written observations on the night in question tell of a speckled band. Hers, regrettably, the specimen's markings do not fit that description in any way. What explanation can we give then, pray? What was the sight that fell upon the victim's eyes last night? There, her friend is actually behind her back. No, don't look at me. This has nothing to do with any of this. Oh, but it does. You know the answer to this quandary even now. Hidden behind your back. Yes, that which you are trying but failing to conceal. There can only be the snake's sloughed skin. Now, evidently after the subtle and horrible crime, this most deadly friend of yours shed its original skin, no? I don't know what you're talking about. Last night, through the ventilator visible in this cabin, your then speckled friend slid through the next door. I will say this, one thing I'm loving about this game is this particular minigame, section of the game. It is making very good use of the 3D nature of the games, and I love it. I'm a big fan. Sorry, one second. Okay. So the next door. Using the bell cord on the other side as a bridge, the serpent silently descended into the victim's quarters. In the dim light, it appeared to the young gentleman who was about to lose his life as a speckled band. In summary, the nature of this friend of yours, which last night infiltrated the scene of the crime, is a rare breed of snake whose markings change each time it sloughs its skin. A snake so dreadful, we can only imagine it would be found in the deepest depths of India. This man, I swear to God. Moving on, we come to the heart of the matter, the grim demise of the victim. How did this young man lose his life, and why? Good job on the producers, Frank. Thanks, boss. According to the data of which I have been appraised, it would appear there were no visible signs of injury. In fact, the circumstances of the victim's death can only be explained by a terrible venom. Now, if we take that as fact, we can reasonably imagine that there remains evidence to affirm it at the scene of the crime. Oh no, could there be... Okay, like, we know it's her now, right? Like, yes, an examination of the... No, it's the glass. It's the glass thing over there. I don't know what it's from, but it's hers. Yes, an examination of the deceased body will prove the cause of death conclusively. The almost, but not quite, imperceptible puncture wounds left by the venomous fangs will seal the truth. Yes, the vestiges of the snake bite delivered by your terrifying friend. This makes no sense. There's no point feigning ignorance, Miss Pavlova. After the incident, you endeavored to hide everything, didn't you? I guess there's not going to be a trial for this episode. But now your involuntary glance betrays the hiding place you chose. That's right. You are the evidence that links you to the victim's death in that traveling case. When we first met in this cabin, it came to my attention that your case moved periodically. Your serpent assassin was restless inside, no doubt. You don't. It is telling that the victim made note of a low whistling sound that he heard minutes before his end that I still don't quite understand what that was. That was your signal, was it not? The sound you had used to train your serpent friend. To
Train?
Indeed. You put the serpent through this ventilator and wait. After a period, you summon it back with a whistle. You couldn't know if the animal had done its duty, so you would listen for signs of life next door. If the victim appears not to have been dispatched, you'd release the snake once more. Do you deny the snake has undergone such training?
It's not true.
Having slithered through the ventilator and down the bell cord, the creature needed only to sink its fangs in once. And its venom would course through the victim's veins, ending his existence forever. That is the true nature of the speckled band that took the poor young man's life. There can be no doubt. My logic is infallible.
Right, yes, infallible. Give me 5 minutes. If that.
Everyone's gonna walk through the man like, this concludes Herlock Sholmes' great deduction of the speckled band. You may all clap and applaud and bow and... Oh, I'll take some coins too. I love everyone just kind of staring at him like, what the fuck? Miss Pavlova has trained his pet snake as a killing machine. There on the floor, you observe a saucer of milk. The promise of food is the key to training any creature.
Incredible! You've solved the mystery.
Amazing. Your great deduction really lives up to its name. I see now why the Herlock Sholmes has become such a household name. My dear man, it was nothing remarkable, as the Russians say. I could have done it with one left hand. What?
Yeah, I think I'm with Susanna on this one. Something's wrong. Can I venture an opinion, Mr. Sholmes?
But of course. What's on your mind?
It's just about your deductions before. Some things don't quite make sense to me.
I welcome questions as to my method, and will answer both loudly and proudly.
Oh, thanks for coming out of the closet. You know that it's great to admit it. You know, I know Pride Month's over, but you know what? We're a year-round safe space.
Oh, well, good. First of all,
snakes are egg-laying creatures, part of the reptile family.
You are well informed, madam.
And reptiles, don't drink milk. It's really only mammals that like to drink milk, you see. So, I'm not sure it'd be possible to train a snake using milk as a reward.
No matter. No doubt Miss Pavlova used some other treat to encourage her pet to do her bidding. Milk is merely an example. The logic holds.
Well, there is something else. Snakes have no ears. Yes, so I'm not sure it would really be possible to signal to a snake by whistling.
Well, but they have ear holes. But madam, what of the tales from Arabia? Have you not heard the snakes that dance to the sounds of a flute?
I think perhaps the performers play the music in time with the snake's natural movements. Snakes can hear, right?
Hold on, it's Google time. The outer ear and middle ear corners, however, they have one middle one that connects their inner jaw. Let's say here, vibrations. Oh, huh, interesting. They can sense vibrations, but they can't hear. And which technically hearing is vibrations in the ear, but that's not quite the same thing. I see. No hands, no feet, no ears. These creatures are so inept as to be practically useless. Look at all the snakes, Mr. Sholmes.
There's one other thing.
You have more?
Snakes use the scales on their bellies to repel themselves. So, I'm not really sure that a snake could manage to climb up a flat bell cord like the ones in these cabins.
Then it should try harder.
Please, don't be angry with me, Mr. Sholmes. The point is, even if the snake had gone through the ventilator to the next door cabin, it couldn't have come back without help. Shit, that's right. What I'm trying to say... is that there are a number of reasons why it's difficult to imagine the snake could have had a part in this.
Ah, shit. Well, that's unfortunate. And yet, I still want to redo this, the thing, so there's still other stuff happening. We know for a fact that she's... I think... We need to step in and help again, Mr. Naruhodo. Oh no, you don't mean... Yes, we need to modify Mr. Sholm's latest deductions and turn them into the great ones they ought to be. I had a feeling that was coming. Alright, let's give it a try. Just what I was waiting for, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, right, yes, totally worked. A team. So, cast your eyes down to your wrist again. What? How do you keep doing that? You've done it again. Your handcuffs are gone. Where did they go? Fear not. I shall see they're restored after our work is done. I really wish you'd leave them off. Now, everyone, let us begin. Herlock Sholmes is proud to present his Logic and Reasoning Spectacular. Part 2. Course correction. It's like I'm fixing his homework. Miss Pavlova, moments ago you claimed the following. His death has nothing to do with me. The whole thing has nothing to do with me. Yet you cannot deceive yourself. Yes, when you recall those horrid events, your aching heart swells with pain. I think her wrist is what hurts there. She does have a pain expression on her face. Yes, that's true. She looks as though Kazuma-sama's death is weighing heavily on her mind and her wrist. But you're not sure Mr. Sholmes read it quite correctly, is that it? Could there be some other way to interpret her expression then? Let's take a moment and really look very closely at Miss Pavlova. How'd she have that in her pocket? Her left ear. Nope, looks fine. There's pretty ears among that beautiful hair. Like little pink shells. Oh, what's that? There's something dangling down from her ear. Ah, that's an earring. The crescent moon part looks as though it's made from wood. It's charming, isn't it? Women do seem to love adornments like that. And their hair around their necks, on their fingers. Even hanging from their ears, it seems. Well, jewelry is beautiful, Naruhodo-san. Oh! She was scratched. Oh, Naruhodo-san, look! That looks like a very painful wound. It looks like a scratch made by some kind of small animal. And fairly recently, too. Well, whatever scratched her doesn't appear to be around here.
Yes!
Alright. Interesting. Yes, when you recall those horrid... I mean, sort of, yes, but... Yeah, it's fine. It's good enough. It gets the point across. Also, it looks fine. It's just flat. I think that's the problem. Yes, when you recall those horrid pins, that claw scratch marks with pain. Indeed, a simple observation reveals that the wound is fresh. Miss Pavlova, did you in fact receive that scratch sometime last night? Ah. When I think about the young man who died next door, I feel so sad. And when I am sad, the pain from this wound is worse. And it is that very pain that evidences your inextricable link to the victim's death. So we ask, what was the nature of this intruder that stole into the victim's cabin on that portentous night? Why, naturally, it was the friend with which you boarded this vessel, was it not? As I suspected, another telltale glance. Without doubt, your friend is the writhing serpent we see before us. It seems likely the scratch mark on the back of Miss Pavlova's hand was made by this friend of hers, doesn't it? Except, snakes don't have claws, do they? No, they don't. They don't even have hands or feet on which claws might grow. Well then, if that snake isn't her pet, what is? What's the true identity of this friend of hers? We should follow her gaze, Naruto-san. That's where we'll find the answer. We're gonna look a little bit more to the... Yep, found it. Like, oh man, what could it be? Is it Stroganoff? Are you the friend? There's no doubt, is there? She looked in this direction. Straight at Seaman Stroganoff. Well, they do seem to be friends of sorts, but I can't imagine how he could possibly fit through that ventilator. Don't forget that I managed to fit inside Kazuma's trunk when we first boarded this ship. I would ask for that proofs, but I think an equivocal little smile would be more effective. It's the teapot as her friend. Oh, look at the little kitty, it's so cute. And it was this teapot that Miss Pavlova's eyes flickered over to before. You think this is the friend she's been talking about? Well, we're all different, aren't we? Whatever we might say about it, that's the way she feels. I don't think I'll say anything about it then. You and the teapot can discuss it instead. Wait, that's not what I meant. No, photograph. Ah, look at the photograph in this frame. This will be something Miss Pavlova brought with her when she ran away. She is exceptionally beautiful, isn't she? Yes, that's true. But personally, it's the little black creature she's holding. On the neck. Look on the neck. It's the glass bell. But then how did it break? And how did he die? Was it an accident? Well, we'd better take a closer look at this. The stage costume she's wearing, it's quite stunning. I should like to have something like that. And she's wearing the 20,000 rubles on her head as well. Look, it's called a tiara, Naruto-san. You shouldn't think of it purely in terms of its value. She's a strong-willed woman. Turn her back on the world stage and run away all on her own. Yeah, but also, like, when shit hits the fan, you're like... Look at the little cat Miss Pavlova is cuddling here. Oh, what a cute little kitten. It could vie with you. It could vie with you, couldn't it, Naruto-san? For the blackest outfit. A black kitten. And from the looks of this picture, at least, Miss Pavlova seems very attached to it. Speckled band was probably literally that, a band on, it's like a scarf. Without doubt, your friend is the little kitten we see before us. Yes, the scratch on the back of your hand makes that abundantly clear. No. The whereabouts of this black kitten isn't clear, but what is clear is that you brought the animal with you when you ran away, didn't you? Daka is my best friend. I couldn't leave her behind. Daka would appear to be a Russian blue. And yet, the fact leaves us in a quandary. The victim's written observation on the night in question tells of a speckled band. As regrettably, the specimen's markings do not fit that description in any way. What explanation can we then give, pray? What was the sight that fell upon the victim's eyes last night? No, don't look at me. This has nothing to do with any of this. Oh, but it does. You know the answer to this quandary even now, hidden behind your back. Yes, that which you are trying, but failing to conceal, can only be the snake's sloth skin. Okay, we're kind of getting away from the logic here, my friend. Did you see that? She just took something out of her pocket and hid it behind her back. It was more hidden in the pocket, let's be real. Don't know why she took it out. She just left it in her pocket, no one would ever know. Thank you, Naruto-san. Oh yes, poise like that are Mr. Shome's specialty. He's ever so cleverly forced her to reveal something. I thought deduction was a specialty. Or making me believe that was a ploy too. Anyway, I find it hard to believe that's the skin of a snake. In which case, so what is Miss Pavlova hiding behind her back? I hate the controls for that. Let's take a closer look. Oh, is that a cat toy? Well, it is speckled and it is a band, but what is it? It seems to be so soft and fluffy. A long piece of cloth of some sort. And that looks like a handle at one end. I know it. Okay, wait. 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 Did she... Okay. Did she stick her... Did she stick that thing, like, toss it over, like, push that in through the ventilator so it would fall to the other side, or be on the end of it, have her cat go up there, she wouldn't be able to push Darka all the way through, so have Darka go up, see the toy, go after the toy, fall into the room, so that she has an excuse to go knock on the door, be like, I'm sorry, something of mine fell into your room. Please don't tell the crew that I have a cat. It's like, oh, don't worry about it. And as he turns around, wham, to the back of the head. I think it might be a cat's toy. This sort is common in the West, apparently. How is that a toy for cats? Cats like to chase the band around and paw at it. Kittens in particular love that sort of play. You only need to wave it in front of them and they pounce to catch it. That sounds positively adorable. Oh, it is. It very much is. Oh, oops. Alright.
Yes!
Cat toy! Yes, the thing you are trying but failing to conceal is, a cat's toy. Precisely, and the true nature of the now infamous speckled band. Ah. And it was this toy that you dangled from the ventilator. You waited it around, I presume? Naturally, the victim could not fail to notice it. But why? For what reason? Or, other option. No, yeah. This had to have been a predicted murder because of the whole wardrobe thing. My dear boy, there can only be one answer to that. After her feline friend disappeared through the ventilator into the neighboring cabin, Miss Pavlova attempted to use the speckled cat's toy to incite the creature to return. Ah. In summary, the nature of this friend of Miss Pavlova's was last sight to infiltrate the scene of the crime. Is a blithesome Russian blue breed of cat by the name of Darka. Okay, so. Okay, so that's also a potential possibility. If the cat went through on its own accord, she tried to bring it back before Kazuma noticed. It failed. She had no choice but to go in and get it directly. And then killed him while she was there. Truly troublesome feline, young Darka proves to be. She must be caged once found. You forgive us for borrowing the photograph of your pet, Miss Pavlova. It was after I gave her food last night. That's when it happened. She scratched the back of my hand, and then ran up the bell cord. Before I could do anything, she had disappeared through the ventilator. Darka, she is so naughty. Let me a good kitty. Now, this is always the fun part, though, when his logic is just still moving on. We come to the heart of the matter, the grim demise of the victim. This is where stuff gets weird, because he's a big idiot. How did this young man lose his life, and why? According to the data of which I have been appraised, it would appear that there were no visible signs of injury. In fact, the circumstances of the victim's death can only be explained by a terrible venom. What Mr. Shelm says is true. There were no signs of a wound anywhere on Kazuma-sama's body. That's right, but Mr. Shelm seems to be unaware of one very important detail. Kazuma wasn't poisoned. Yes, it would seem so. Let's give him the information he's missing now. Yo, let's go! Hey, I've just been informed that there was in fact no poison. In fact, the circumstances of the victim's death can only be explained by the post-mortem report. Ah, yes, I knew it was one or the other. His neck was... Indeed, the breaking of the cervical vertebrae is fatal. Only that Goliath would be strong enough to survive that. Even strong enough isn't some immortal freak, you know. But also, you're probably not wrong. Looks like he could survive a truck. The jury is out. Anyway, we have on good authority that the victim's neck was broken. Now, if we take that as fact, we can reasonably imagine that there remains evidence to affirm it's at the scene of the crime.
No, could that be?
Yes, an examination of the deceased body will prove the cause of death conclusively. Kazuma died because his neck was broken. In other words, he was probably struck by something, or someone.
Yes, that's a distinct possibility. As of yet, no weapon has been found, though.
Okay, no, I know what it is now. I have a better idea. I have one of two ideas. Either she went in and did it herself, or Stroganoff went in, broke his neck to prevent him talking about the, I don't know, talking about the pet, I guess, because he's a big fan of Pavlovia, it seems like. Probably, maybe. So he killed Kazuma to keep quiet about the cat and blamed it on Naruhodo, who was in the closet, or in the wardrobe, and he wrote it down, not Pavlova. Presumably Darkin didn't silently creep behind Kazuma and deal him a fatal blow. I suppose it's possible that he had a fall and hit the ground awkwardly. It could have been a terrible act of misfortune that he broke his neck completely by accident. Oh, yes, a bad fall could explain it. It's rather hard to believe with Kazuma-sama, though. He wasn't a clumsy man. And it also wouldn't explain why he wrote wardrobe after dying and all this other stuff. Well, we need to fix the deduction somehow. Is there anything from the scene that could explain what happened?
Yes!
Didn't even need to think about it. We already knew. Because we saw it in the photo. Yes, an examination of the mark on the floor will prove the cause of death conclusively. This particular mark, so prominently visible next to the victim's body, is a deposit of shoe polish.
Shoe polish?
Indeed. Positively identified by a little analysis that I have constructed, which I carry now as a matter of course. Beeswax, tallow, and dye were my results. The undeniable ingredients of shoe polish. Hi, Maya. Welcome. We're in the middle of some investigating and detecting. And the color of the polish is a perfect match to the color of Mr. Asogi's lace leather shoes. Looking at this mark, it's not hard to imagine what happened. For some reason, Mr. Asogi must have caught his foot at that point on the floor and tripped. No, it can't be that simple. Did he trip on the goddamn cat? Are you fucking kidding me? Is that what happened? No. Ryunosuke, I have to say this. I'm so sorry. Your dumbass boyfriend was killed by a fall when he tripped on a cat. Now, the covering up afterwards, that was a bit of a... That was bad. That was a different issue. There was no murder here. I don't think there was a murder here. I've gone through so many theories since the start of this investigation. Jesus Christ.
Please, no.
And, by a dreadful turn of misfortune, caught his neck against some immovable object as he fell to the floor. Immovable object? Suffering a fatal blow to the spine, the victim's vertebrae shattered, and in that instant he lost his life. Wait, what? What did he hit that was immovable? Oh! He tripped and hit... Did he hit the desk? Did he fall and hit his head on the desk, or his neck on the desk perfectly? Is that what happened?
I don't know. I don't know anything about this.
Is that really true, Miss Pavlova? What about the evidence left at the scene where Mr. Asogi lost his life? Yes, the facts are as clear as day to me. You did all you could to conceal the incriminating evidence. But now your involuntary glance betrays the hiding place you chose. That's right. You have the evidence that links you to the victim's death in that traveling case.
I don't believe it. Kazuma someone merely tripped over and now he's no more? It can't be true. I refuse to accept it.
I know it's hard to believe, but the mark on the floor does seem to suggest that's what happened.
But...
And if this part of Mr. Sholmes' deduction is right, Miss Pavlova is trying to hide some evidence that would prove it. Here in this cabin, somewhere in the direction she just cast her eyes.
Where, I wonder?
Let's have a good look around. The answer must be here somewhere. Well, we have the tiara? That seems unlikely. I dropped 20,000 rubles here.
It hasn't been dropped, Naruhodo-san. It's been placed.
It's starting to sound like Mr. Sholmes.
Stop trying to sound like the great detective.
Oops. Well, we know it's not the case. This is where Miss Pavlova hit her friend.
That's right. And it wasn't a snake after all.
No, it was that little kitten she calls Darka. Not that it's anywhere to be seen now. It seemed to have left itself out of the case and gone exploring.
I expect it to wrap itself around someone's head elsewhere, somewhere trying to make a new friend.
Either that or scratching their hand to pieces. The point is, where has it got to?
This is a waste paper basket. Perhaps how the first class cabin...
Miss Pavlova only started occupying this cabin last night. Presumably there's not much rubbish in there yet.
There it is.
Oh, what's that?
It's a broken piece of glass, isn't it? It's the other half of the bell!
And I feel like I've seen it somewhere before.
If it looks familiar, perhaps it's more than your mind simply playing tricks on you.
Yes!
That's right. You hit the evidence that links you to the victim's death in that waste paper basket. Here we have a fragment of some intricate glass object, it would seem. Well, there's a familiar air, in fact. Precisely. We found another piece of broken glass on the floor in Mr. Asogi's cabin. And as you can see, the two pieces fit together perfectly.
Oh, no?
So, Miss Pavlova, shall we consider what this tells us? Why would it be that part of this glass object, which was evidently broken at the scene of the victim's death, should be found in the waste paper basket in your cabin? You're well acquainted with this glass bell, are you not?
I don't...
I don't know, in that hushed Russian accent of yours won't save you this time, dear girl. Why? Because we have conclusive evidence linking you to the bell in question.
What?
Take it away, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes. The evidence linking Miss Pavlova and the little glass bell. That would be... this photo.
Yes!
If you look at this photograph, you can clearly see, hanging from Darka's collar, the very glass bell in question. The truth has caught up with you, Miss Pavlova. The young man who lost his life last night did so after a truly inauspicious fall. And the cause of that fateful stumble? Your absent feline friend, Darka. We started with a locked room murder, and we ended up on he tripped over a cat.
I never really should ever just expect anything from Ace Attorney. I should know this by now. I've played the first three. I played all three of the original games, the original trilogy. I should know this by now.
You can't expect shit.
I couldn't tell anyone. I'm sorry.
Death by tripping over a cat. Wow, that is quite the way to go. That is, you go up to heaven, and it's just like, what are you in for? Well, you know, I got murdered, and it sucked. What about you? Oh, I lived to an old age of 87. Oh, that's pretty good. What about you? I don't want to talk about it.
Oh, It looks there you were murdered by your friend. Uh-huh, yeah, sure, we'll go with that. Oh, another saying it was a snake bite. Yeah, you know what, it's a little fuzzy, very recent event. Yeah, you know what, that sounds about right. I remember the burning poison. Oh. What? Oh, there's a kid in the kitchen. Uh-oh. Oh, there's poor little kid. Oh, sir. I'm just gonna go now. It's been fun hanging out with you guys up here in heaven. I don't know where we are. Some sort of viewing platform, I guess. I gotta go. Oh, it looks like you died by tripping over the kitten. Are you serious, dude? I mean, I hit my head real hard. I don't know. Who knows what happened? Hey, there's a cool murder investigation. That's right. Tell us exactly what happened last night.
It was a little after 1 in the morning. It was so late, but I hadn't had time to feed Daka, so I gave her some food. And then, all of a sudden, she scratched me and jumped out of my
Have there been any aliens yet? No. But there have been ghosts. Yes, there was a ghost murderer. That is a thing that happened in the third game. Okay. This is interesting, though. I was like, well, why would Darka suddenly do this? She loved it. Like, she's your best friend, blah, blah. The chicken. It's the goddamn chicken. That chicken that's been giving everyone fucking headaches all day. The cat bit into the chicken, was like, bleh, this fucking sucks, I'm gonna scratch you. Because, retaliation is what it does. People do say that cats become very anxious and nervous in new environments. Also that.
She was so fast, she disappeared through the ventilator before I could stop her.
And that is how you acquired the rather nasty wound on the back of your hand, I take it?
Yes. And I had read the, rules on the wall. I knew that I was not allowed Daka with me.
Yes, modern science suggests that animals can carry infectious diseases. It's a precaution, really.
So I listened and listened, trying to hear if there was some noise in the next cabin. It was very quiet. I was sure if someone was there, he must be sleeping. So at that point, you thought it...
So at that point, you thought it safe to try and lure the kitten back again? By digging the end of the toy through the ventilator and into the adjoining cabin. That makes a lot more sense than my original theory if this was on purpose.
Daka always loved this toy, but it didn't work. Nothing worked. I tried using her favorite toy. I tried whistling to her softly, but nothing. She didn't return.
Ah, the whistling. That's where it came from. So the faint whistling sound Kazuma wrote about in his diary was Pavlova trying to retrieve her pet. Cats have a propensity to remain hidden in the shadows when frightened.
Yes, so there was nothing else I could do. I just had to wait until she calmed down. But then...
Cat murder indeed.
I nearly passed out with shock. I heard her cry out and then... Oh, it was such a dreadful bang. Then afterwards, nothing. It was totally silent.
Kazuma was. From the appearance of the brown mark on the floor, it seemed likely what you heard was the victim stepping on the glass bell and tripping up. Mrs. Burry has a large vessel, but even she can pitch and roll violently without warning. And Mr. Asogi was already off balance as a result of the ship lurching when the kitten got under his feet. A combination of unfortunate factors could have easily caused him to fall over. But what became of the kitten afterwards?
In the end, I managed to get her to come back through the ventilator.
The Darker is nowhere to be seen.
I must have forgotten to lock my case. Now she's disappeared again.
Gracious, that Kaz is as insufferably restless as I am. And insufferable you are. Your name is Herlock Insufferable... No, Herlock Insufferable Sholmes.
We can call you insufferable. Make it easier on myself. Well, he knows something about himself, at least.
When I woke this morning, I heard that a young man in the cabin next to mine had died.
Wait, so who wrote wardrobe? On the ground.
But I couldn't bring myself to tell anyone what had happened.
And then you tried to pin it on me, god damn it.
I was too scared. Scared that they would send me back.
Yeah, she's a 15-year-old girl. Fine. Oh, hold on a minute. Well, what about the snake? You're right. Where is it?
The snake isn't your friend, Miss Pebble, but whose is it? And where did it come from?
Why on earth is such a dangerous creature doing on board the ship? Oh, I think it belongs to Stroganoff. Oh, I didn't say. Snake is my friend. His name is Pirosco. What? What? That snake belongs to you? He escaped from cage when emergency alarm sounded. I was looking for him. I did not expect to find him in here.
Yes, how did that snake get into this cabin?
But animals are not permitted on board. Oh, we are at sea for 1 year. You want to be so long without a close friend, without someone who understands. Couldn't you find someone a little more human who understands you better? Look, animals are so much better than people. I'm sorry, it's just the truth. But my dear buddy fellow, a gargantuan venomous snake. Surely you can appreciate the danger you're putting everyone in. No venom. But Roscoe does not have venom. He is armless, very long, but very gentle. He is adorable, like Granny.
It's venomless.
Yes. Now he is hungry, so he is in bad mood. But once I feed him, you will see big smile. Big smile. And you feed him what? Milk? Rats. It's why the mousetrap hasn't gone off with the cheese outside. Because that thing eats all the rats. Oh, like they say they milk chickens. Ridiculous. Snakes that drink milk are only in stupid stories. Brosco eats mouses. Big, fat, round mouses. Ah. Oh, so is that what the mousetrap in the passageway out there is for? Of course. Oh, that's gonna catch my friend's favorite fruit. This is top of the food chain, like the look in their eyes right now. Okay, fine, you get the mousetrap to get the mice to feed the... Whatever, I'm an idiot. It's fine. You look a little downtrodden, Mr. Sholmes. Anything to add? He refuses to drink milk. Can't hear it whistle. Can't come up a bell cord, and it's not even venomous. How the deuce did something so inept and land a starring role? It's not my fault. I do not make up stories. Mr. Brosco has nothing to do with this incident. Mr. Brosco, you're a good friend. We cuddle at night. You're up on my arm. I sing him stories. I tell him stories. And no, I sing him stories. That is correct. So that's what happened. That's the truth behind my best friend's tragic death. That still doesn't explain the wardrobe, or why she had, or how she had half the thing. There's still a little bit missing. And also, like, what exactly he fell on to die? That killed him. Like, hello, we're still missing a few minor details.
Miss Pavlova. I understand the difficult situation you found yourself in, and I do sympathize. But please remember this. A young man lost his life. If you're going to attempt to cover up your guilt with lies, then no matter what the circumstances, I cannot forgive you. But
what are you talking about, Miss Mikatoba? What lies? Miss Pavlova just confessed everything.
No, there's still some information missing. There's still stuff that's confusing.
It was just a series of unfortunate events. An accident. Or was it?
I'm no great detective like Mr. Sholmes. Am I going to go back and forth on this accident murder thing? I'm no great detective like Mr. Sholmes. I don't have a gift for knowing the truth. But even I can see that was not the truth. Don't you agree, Mr. Naruhodo?
To be perfectly honest, yes. There's a discrepancy in Miss Pavlova's story. I'm sure of it, I just can't quite put my finger on it. It's the words in ink on the floor. I confess, I was intending to let Scotland Yard deal with any outstanding issues on this matter. Oh. I am only present here for a very specific reason. The truth is, you, Mr. Naruhodo, are simply a distraction. A distraction? I do hope you've not been finding your shackles too uncomfortable. Okay, wait, not again. Why? Especially as they're on the wrist as a result of my intervention. I was rather hoping I could resolve matters before we made our next port call. You were, Mr. Sholmes? Yes, but I overlooked one important detail. The deceased young man was a very close companion of yours, was he not? Where are you going with this? Yes, we were close. Yes, we were close. Yes, we were best friends. Yes, there were a couple of nights on this 15-day trip that I stayed in his bed with him. Yes, things might have gotten a little out of hand. Yes, we're just bros being bros. No homo, all the homo. Kazuma was my closest friend. I owed him my freedom, even. In that case, we must follow this to its conclusion. No further distractions. You must uncover the real truth here, Mr. Naruhodo. Then why did you shackle me? Yes, whatever that may be. The key to this is the discrepancy in Miss Pavlova's story, I'm sure. If I can chase that down, maybe the truth will become clear. The truth about how you really died. About how that scene in your cabin really came to be. Alright, I'll see what I can do. Excellent. Thank you, Mr. Naruhodo. Maybe it was on purpose? So then, shall we begin? Yes. What we should ponder first is the victim who lost his life in a cabin that was bolted shut from the inside. Was this truly an unfortunate accident? Or was it in fact no accident at all? That's what we must establish in the first instance. But we've already established it, haven't we? The man tripped over the kitten that had climbed onto his cabin via the ventilator. Tragic, yes, but still an accident. Wait, let us take a step back. It doesn't make sense that that's really what happened, is it? Does it? That shouldn't have killed him. I'm going to have to ask you to spell it out for me, I'm afraid. Yes, it's starting to take shape now. There's a clear contradiction between the facts and Miss Pavlova's story here. The evidence is right there in Kazuma's cabin. It's undeniable. His death couldn't possibly have been a mere accident. Really? Let us show our hand, Mr. Naruhodo. Time to present the evidence. The evidence proves unequivocally that the victim's death was no mere accident. It had to have been this, right?
Yes!
The truth was clearly recorded in this photographic print. There's no way that Mr. Isogi could have left this message on the floor. That's script. It's Russian, isn't it? Indeed it is. The word written means wardrobe. I see what you mean. Most people would leave a dying message in their native language, Japanese in this case. But maybe he was studying Russian. It is a simple language. He could have picked it up very fast. I have my doubts. That doesn't seem likely. That's actually not the point. It makes no difference whether he knew Russian or not. Sorry, what do you mean? Exactly what I said before. There's no way that Mr. Isogi could have left this message on the floor, because he snapped his neck and died instantly, you dumb motherfuckers. And the reason why is clearly explained in here. Damage to the cervical vertebrae resulting in instant death. Instant death. No waiting, no praying, no pain, luckily. Or at least not much of it. Which means, after the victim fell to the floor, he couldn't possibly have written anything. Because he was already dead! That's not the only reason either. There's something else we found in Mr. Asogi's cabin. A remnant of something that couldn't possibly have been there if what Ms. Pavlova told us is true. What? So, Sarsan has noticed it too then. I don't think I noticed. Putting the mess on the floor aside, there's something else that gives the truth away. Another piece of evidence proves there's no accident. In other words... Wrote it on the way down? Absolutely. He moved so... What he did was, he dipped his fingers in the ink as he was falling through the air, and in an instant, in a microsecond, he spelled it out in the air, in the perfect place, so that the ink would fall, precisely to make the words he exactly needed. And his finger would hit the ground in the exact perfect spot. But anyways, no, I'm pretty sure it was this.
Yes!
Because half of it's missing. This piece of broken glass next to the mark on the floor. But that's the glass bell the kitten had around his neck. We already know all about that. It was broken in half when the victim tripped over the cat and fell. So we already have a satisfactory explanation. It was a flaw in that logic. Unfortunately, there's a very big flaw. A fatal flaw. Namely, that if it were stepped on, wouldn't it be like in like a million pieces if it's glass? Like, I don't know how she perfectly cut it in two, but if that's really what happened, then how did one half of the bell end up back here in this cabin? I mean, that's the other thing. I had two options to say. Yes, remember that we found the other half of the glass bell in the waste paper basket. Would you care to explain that, Miss Pavlova? No. Both these pieces of evidence clearly point to the same conclusion. That when Mr. Asogi died last night in his cabin, there was someone else in the room. And that same person deliberately arranged the scene to disguise the truth, in order to cover up his or her own guilt. You can just say there. You can just say there. It's the easy way. Cover up their own guilt. From now on, if I ever see his or her, like I already do it to myself mentally, if I see his or her, I'm saying there. I don't care who you are. I don't care what the purpose is. I'm saying there. Moving on. Wait. Hold on. Water. I don't do well with screams. Also, my quick question now that you're here, I don't think I asked yesterday. What would you have voted for in Link's prediction in the Link's Awakening stream last night for the prediction? How many points would you have won? Would you have stolen all my points, or would you have lost them with me? Anyways. Something like that. You know what? That sounds bad. We're just gonna move on. Lexus, if you're still here, I will tell you to say absolutely nothing. Yes, there was someone else present in Mr. Asogi's...
You're wasting time. Someone else was there. Duh, of course, we know this.
What are you talking about?
Bulkhead was bolted shut from inside. There is no way in or out.
Yes. No, wait, we've already solved this issue.
And only other person in cabin when young student died was you.
It's true, I was in the cabin when it happened. You were shut inside the cabin wardrobe. To be precise about the details. The context is there. It's right there in front of your face. See, that's where I was too, Maya. I was torn between 0 and 5, but in the end, I went 0, and me and Kaden were both wrong about how the fairy bottles worked in that game, and I lost 2,000 points, and Bree gained a lot. Anyways. There, Lexus, there's that. Lexus, I'm giving you the context. I'm well aware. That's why when I realized it afterwards, I'm like, ah, shit. You were shut inside the cabin wardrobe, to be precise about the details. I don't know Russian. There's no way I would have left that message. Not would have. There's no way you could have left that message, to be precise about the details. Would you mind? Forgive me, my dear fellow. As I was saying... as I was saying, Lexus died. Murder. The person in question wrote the word wardrobe in Russian on the floor. In an attempt to incriminate me for the crime, even though I had been asleep in there the entire time. And then, the same person picked up the broken glass bell that had fallen to the floor, for fear of it becoming evidence that would show how Mr. Asogi really died. But why wouldn't this person have taken back all the pieces of the bell anyway? Leaving half behind was always going to raise questions. Yes, but that's a... Actually, I'm gonna have to ask you to stop now. God damn it. Jesus. It was past 1 o'clock in the early hours of the morning. Come would have been quite dark. The single small lamp suspended from the ceiling would barely have cast... Jesus Christ. Would barely have cast any light on... Was it 2011? I guess it was. Oh, here. God, it's been 11 years. Fuck. Little wonder, then, that the culprit failed to notice... You know what? That's fair. You know what? I applaud your morale. No, that's not morale. Your optimism? Your something or other. Yeah, something like that. Little wonder, then, that the culprit failed to notice a fragment of the tiny item. You all suspect me, don't you? That's why he has all those marks on his face from the snake. Okay. Steven Stroganoff. Nina is a woman of sea. She is daughter of Strong's... Is that your daughter? 2 years ago, they noticed the dancing skills and she went away to join ballet company. But before, she was dancer on the ship. A member of ship's band. You do not accuse ship's angel of being criminal. So that's it. You say that when young student died, Nina was dead in his cabin. But that is not possible. I give my tooth. You only have one tooth? Wow, that's weird. Really big teeth. Well, that's almost interesting. And why would you give your tooth, pray? How can you be so sure? You're a great detective, you should know. You're a great detective, you should know. Look through tonight. Cabin bucket was bolted shut from inside. Nobody could go into the cabin. Not Nina, not anyone. Or you want to tell me that killer can walk through locked doors? Niet. It's impossible. He's right, but also, I've already solved this issue. Like, if you give me 10 seconds to let me, the player, and not the character speak, it's over. It's done with. But wait, I've read about this in detective stories. People often tie thread around door latches so they can open and close them from the outside. Thread? Are you stupid? These buckets are not bond door. Certainly not. There's a watertight doors, as one would expect to find in any modern steamship. Constructed of heavy steel and not a gap in sight. No threads or needles or magnets could have been used. No, of course not. I thought so too. But Mr. Harder suggested earlier, so... Sana-san, how shit on to me like that? So Steven Stroganoff has a valid point. The cabin door can have bolted shut from the outside. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. What? I put it to you that I could bolt this cabin door without laying a finger on it. And in this very cabin, we can see the traces of the method I have in mind having been used before. Oh dear God, please tell me he's actually going to be smart for the next 5 seconds. Please tell me he's noticed. I don't believe it, because I've already figured it out. Well, Mr. Naruhodo, I believe you know what I mean, don't you? A way to shut the bolt of the cabin door from the outside? One way does spring to mind, yes. Do you really know what Mr. Sholmes means, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes, and so should you, because we've seen it happen. Indeed we have. So, would you care to do the honors, Mr. Naruhodo? Point out the telling signs of the method that was used to slide the cabin door bolt across from the outside. The proof is right here. Because the sudden stopping of the ship boasts down. Now, this makes you wonder. Was this on purpose? Magnets. Yes, magnets, definitely. Magnets through the thick steel metal door. 100%. Now, mounting some thread together, that's what it was, 100%. See how the books and things on it have toppled over?
That must have happened when the ship made its emergency stop before.
Yes, that's right. It's a very powerful vessel, after all. When engines are thrown into reverse, a violent jolt goes across the entire ship. Any small objects that aren't fastened down are bound to fall over.
I believe. Yes, it's what's known as the force of inertia, acting on the objects. An object in motion will stay in motion until acted upon by force. Blah. Words. Stop me. I was so close. And an object at rest will stay at rest until acted upon by an external force. That there is inertia.
Thank you, Newton. Is there nothing Susato-san doesn't know? Or that isn't in her book, at least? Well, whatever it's called, the same force that pushed... No, that wasn't Newton. I don't remember what that was. The same force that pushed over those books on the bookcase also made something else in this cabin move. The bolt on the cabin door. It was very obvious just after the emergency stop the ship made earlier. We had come to this cabin not long before, and we hadn't bolted the door. But then... Hello? Is anybody in there? Shout if you need assistance. Oh, that sounds like...
Inspector Hosonaga. Oh, yes. That's it. When the ship stopped suddenly, the bolts flew across and locked the door.
Yes, it was made of metal, but it's small and light enough to be moved by the ship's sudden change of speed. Or the force of inertia, if you want to call it that. Are you trying to say that last night, after Mr. Sogi was killed... It wouldn't have looked like that, but yes. It would have been more like... Ka-chung! The SS Bira made another emergency stop. I don't know why I gave this guy a British accent, it just works for him. Semi-British, I guess. When I woke up this morning and looked around the cabin, I thought it looked a little odd. All the books on the shelves had toppled over, and all the ornaments. It was almost as if someone had run their hand across the shelves and deliberately knocked everything over.
Oh yes, I remember that. And I stood them all up again, didn't I?
Then when we came to this cabin, we were surprised to see the same thing in here. All the books and everything had toppled over, just like in Mr. Asogi's cabin.
My.
Do you have anything to say about this, Miss Pavlova? What about you, Stroganoff? Are you out of your mind? You said Buria made the emergency stop? It does seem a little far-fetched. How could that possibly have happened? Unless you're saying that the culprit is actually someone from the engine room. Oh, it's simple enough. It's simple enough. Are you forgetting the button in the passageway outside? Used to trigger the emergency alarm.
Oh yes, of course. There was a notice, wasn't there? Telling you only press the button in times of emergency?
On dark nights when the fog is dense, the captain cannot afford to rely on the eyes of his lookout alone. Hence the placement of a number of buttons around the vessel to allow any crewman to raise the alarms. The sort of button one is almost compelled to press to satisfy one's curiosity. You motherfucker, were you the one it... Wait, it was you? When the button is pressed, two things happen in the interest of safety. The emergency alarm bell rings, and the vessel comes to a complete stop. As indeed it did a little earlier today. He just admitted to a crime on his own. Although I have recently learned that unlike plane travel, boats, boy, they got so few regulations. So who knows, maybe it's not a crime.
Mr. Sholmes, surely it wasn't you who...
As I always say, a button has but one purpose in life. To be pressed, whatever the occasion. He sounds almost proud of himself. How dare you mess with ship? I report you to Captain. You're in much trouble now. Now, I'm sure all that can wait until later. Let's not overlook the fact that we have now learnt a valuable lesson. When the vessel makes an emergency stop, the bolts on the cabin door side closed. So, what we must now consider...
Yes, It all comes down to one thing now. Last night, after what happened to Mr. Asogi, did the ship make an emergency stop, or did it not?
You're idiots. But a huge ship with many passengers. If we make emergency stop even in the middle of night, there would be chaos everywhere.
What are your thoughts, Mr. Naruhodo? Well, it's certainly possible that some kind of emergency happened last night. We have evidence to support that idea.
Really? With evidence? What evidence, Mr. Naruhodo?
Pulls out the thickest fucking blue book in the world. It's right. Oh, sorry. Here.
Whew. Fascinating. Do show us, my good man. What evidence promotes the theory that some emergency gripped this vessel last night?
Yes!
Seaman Stroganoff, it's your duty to patrol the first class area of the ship, isn't that right?
No, that is correct. Why?
And the ship's log here. This would be where you record the details of your duties.
What are you doing with that? That is mine.
Yes, you have beautiful handwriting, by the way. You rather casually left it atop that little makeshift bureau in the passageway out there. But as responsible passengers, we took it under our care with the mind to return it to you later.
I left it there on purpose. That is where I always put it.
The point is, looking at what you usually record, it's clear that under normal circumstances you write the phrase, "nothing to report," every 30 minutes. But from 2 o'clock last night until first light this morning, nothing was recorded at all. So tell us, what happened? Nothing recorded in the log.
That is... That, because nothing happened.
But if nothing happened, you would normally write "nothing to report," wouldn't you? Indeed so, which tells us that shortly after 2 a.m., something happened here aboard the SS Burdia. Something sufficiently significant to make you forget to fill in the ship's log, in fact. Are you suggesting that the ship really did make an emergency stop in the middle of the night?
Stop talking rubbish.
It probably has something to do with the Revolutionary. If I'm perfectly honest, I find that a little hard to believe myself. Oh? Why? Well, because if something as major as an emergency stop really had happened, surely all of us would have noticed? That's very true. Thanks to the emergency stop we experienced earlier, we all know what it feels like now. The ship lurched so violently, and the alarm bell was so loud. I can't imagine that anybody would sleep through that, even if it happened in the dead of night. Well, no, that's a good point. Something happened. The alarms might not have gone off, but definitely the ship lurched. What of the chicken? The chicken everyone ate. The bad chicken that everyone ate put everyone into a deep sleep. Oh, or other thing, the drug itself that was in the chicken isn't what's causing the head throbbing. It's the fact that we were all fucking tossed and turned like a sack of potatoes in the middle of the night and we didn't wake up for it. Sorry, what do you mean? Your head, man. The throbbing of your head since this morning. You've all suffered with it. Ah. Oh, yes, I have had a headache, you're right. In fact, I haven't been feeling it myself since I woke up today. Nor have I. My head has been feeling heavy ever since dawn. Yes, you've all been afflicted, haven't you? Just as I suspected. That's right, my head's been throbbing today too. Or both, could be both. And since eating dinner yesterday evening, everything has felt sort of hazy. I can't really remember anything that happened after I climbed back inside the wardrobe. Then the first thing I noticed this morning was the throbbing pain in my head. I had already been dragged out of the wardrobe and had those handcuffs put on me by that point. Why didn't I wake up when all this was happening to me? Drugs, man, the drugs! Tell me, Mr. Naruhodo, you boarded this vessel as a stowaway, didn't you? Oh, well, yes. Sorry. The stowaway class of accommodations doesn't usually include meals. What did you survive on? Well, Kazuma looked after me. He was always happy to share his meals. So you enjoyed some of the whole roast chicken dish that was served yesterday evening, I take it? Yes, in fact, I had all that. Kazuma wasn't fond of chicken. Oh, really? So the victim didn't eat any of the chicken at all? That's right, he didn't touch it. Is that relevant? My dear fellow, does that not strike you?
Oh, Mr. Sholmes, do you mean to say
that there was something wrong with the chicken? I do. No. Really? Is that really true? I've been saying it for hours at this point. Let me prepare for the passengers. Let's try that again. The meal prepared for the passengers last night has been tampered with. Tampered with by the addition of a soporific designed to induce a very deep slumber in those who consumed it. A sleeping drug? Do you mean whoever did this laced every meal with a sleeping drug so no one would notice the ship's emergency stop?
Mr. Naruhodo, of course that's not what Mr. Sholmes means. What a far-fetched idea.
Far-fetched! Precisely. Lacing every meal of every passenger on board with a soporific drug would certainly be impossible. Unless, that is, every single member of the crew was a conspirator. Interesting. What?
Mr. Sholmes?
Because of their angel. I'm gonna say that. Well, Seaman? I hate. Can we get off the ship now? Can we please get off the ship just so I don't have to say that word anymore? I'm sorry to say that any more deception in this matter will get you nowhere. If you refuse to talk, there would have to be an inquiry made through the shipping company, of course. And were that to happen, every member of the crew, and the captain himself, would be hauled over the coals. For aiding and abetting a renegade.
Please, no more. I will tell everything.
Eh?
I cannot make problems like this for everyone anymore.
These crewmen are your former comrades, I believe.
Yes. So when I decided to run away, I asked them to help me.
We all agreed to help, everyone together. She threw away everything, her fame in the ballet, Mother Russia. We wanted to help our angel. I don't believe it. You are right. We put sleeping drug in chicken last night.
Yes, I remember now. I did notice chewing on a lump of something strange and bitter at one point.
No, we cannot make all drug. How do you say, dissolve? Ugh, talk about heavy seasoning. At midnight in waters near Shanghai, we brought our angel on board. She was out by comrade on shore with a small fishing boat. While all the passengers of the SS Beria slept soundly. Thanks to the almost magical effects of the slumber-inducing potion their evening meals had contained.
So, the stop was caused by getting Pavlova on, but that was before his death. So, if that's what happened, the only people awake on the ship last night were the crew people who disliked chicken and the newly boarded passenger, Miss Pavlova. And that means it would have been possible for you. You could have used the emergency stop trick to lock Kazuma's cabin door. Right, they could have done another emergency stop. There would have been two of them. But how does that make sense? Surely every cabin door would have ended up locked in that case, and there would have been complete chaos. Oh, I wouldn't say so. What? Of course. Just like us, all the other passengers would have eaten their evening meals of chicken in their cabins, after which they would have been overwhelmed by tiredness because of the sleeping drug. Quite. And accordingly, all passengers were already in their cabins for the night. Yes. The overwhelming majority of passengers would habitually sleep with their cabin doors bolted anyways, and so not one of them would have found it remarkable to find the door locked in the morning. In summary, in order to fasten the bolt of a single cabin door on the ship,
The culprit brought the entire vessel to an emergency stop in the early hours of the morning. Quite a drastic measure to take there, but hey, you know, you do whatever works. You have talked a long time and said many things. What is point? The point is what I said earlier. There was somebody else present on the scene when the victim lost his life last night. Someone who left a message in Russian on the floor in an attempt to incriminate another. Someone who tried desperately to hide the broken fragment of glass that would reveal the culprit's identity. And someone who abused the ship's emergency stop procedure in order to lock a door. All told, a busy night. But, all told, a busy night. So busy, in fact, that one might even forget to write in the log for several hours.
I don't know about any of this. I'm just a little girl.
You like to speak with your long English words and explain your clever ideas. But I am sailor, and sailors don't listen to long, boring stories. We don't believe.
I'm pretty sure half of what all sailor does is listen to long, boring stories. The other half is tell long, boring stories.
So like me, we trust only what we see with our eyes. With our eyes. I kinda got away from the voice and the pitch there.
A laudable trait.
What?
I am quite of the same disposition, my good man. Observation to me is everything. Mr. Naruhodo. Yes? Do you hear it? That accusatory cry of guilt on the wind. What accusatory cry of guilt? Sorry, you have lost me. Proof of involvement, man. But I can't hear such a call with the ears. I got real Scottish there for a second. Hold on, I'm sure there'll be a Scottish person somewhere in this game. We're about to be in England, or in the UK, or wherever. No, you must hear with your eyes. For observation is the basis of all deduction.
What are you talking about?
I believe the time has come. For one final logic and reasoning spectacular. To expose the truth. You know what? I'm invested. Let's see if we can finish this episode. So, Mr. Naruhodo, your assistance, if you please. With what exactly, Mr. Sholmes? With observation, my dear fellow. Just as I said. Of these two prevaricators. Observation. If you remember, Mr. Naruhodo, we know that somebody tried to fabricate evidence, don't we? By tampering with the scene of Mr. Asogi's death. What we're looking for is some trace of evidence that one of these two was there when it happened. Precisely. You're delightfully quick to grasp my meaning. Alright, I'll see what I can see. So we're looking for a trace of evidence that shows someone else was there last night when Kazuma died. What's there to suggest someone was on the scene? Show me your hands. God, he's got a thick neck. Okay. Oh, wait, what was that? God, I hate the controls for this. Well, I'm looking for... Let me see his chunky arms. I look at the arms. He has arms like tree trunks, doesn't he? Hairy tree trunks. Yes, he certainly has sailor's arms. He's a born man of the sea. If I had been awake, I could... Extra thick! Just because we don't have that sound... Oh, why don't we have that sound alert? What is wrong with me? I should have that sound alert. Couldn't have done anything about being dragged out of that wardrobe by this man. Naruhodo-san? Are you alright? You seem to be lost in thought. Oh, sorry. Blowing those hairy tree trunks. She has such petite ears among that beautiful hair, like little pink shells. Oh, what's that? Blah, blah, blah. There's something dangling down from her ear. Ah, it's an earring. The crescent moon looks like there's made from wood. It's charming, isn't it? Women do seem to love adornments, blah, blah, blah. We already know all this. Hair on the necks, on their fingers, and even hanging from their ears, it seems. Well, jewelry is beautiful, Naruhodo-san. Okay, that wasn't helpful. His hat? Have you noticed something significant about Seaman Stroganoff's hat? Oh, no, sadly not. I was just thinking about that if we'd only found it in Kazuma's cabin, it would be all so easy. All be so easy.
That's true. A hat drop at the scene would have been very conclusive evidence. That's a point. I'm sure I saw your university uniform hat at the scene somewhere. That is not a point. At least no one I'd like you to make.
I feel like I'm missing something. Oh, here we go. There's her right ear. She's missing a piece of her earring. Oh my god, we already know this part. Oh, what's that? I suspect that's what's called. It is, but it looks like it's missing the other crescent moon. It's missing. Maybe it broke off. Now that's left is the clasp. That's just the ear. If that's the case, she doesn't appear to have noticed that it's broken.
Yes!
I noticed the dainty jewelry you're wearing on your ears, Miss Pavlova. Were we to find a piece of those earrings in Mr. Asogi's cabin, it would prove beyond doubt that you were there. Although, we haven't actually found anything yet, so... What precisely was your intention with that, Mr. Naruhodo? Just following the natural progression of the deduction. Sometimes the truth hurts. Well, the truth is, you do not have a turn for observation or deduction. Did that hurt? Wow, I got called out by the himbo. Damn. How exactly are we supposed to show that someone else was there when Kazuma died? I can think of two possible ways. Either we find a trace of something that the person in question left behind the scene, or, if that's not possible, a trace of something that the person took away from the scene, be that accidentally or deliberately. A trace of something someone took away? If you observe closely enough, I believe we'll find examples of both. Give them a long, hard, and uncompromising stare from all sides. That's my advice. There it is. That's what I needed. Oh, look at this. It's some kind of stain. In an unusual place. Yes, you're right. It looks like ink, if I'm not mistaken. Ink. And look at the color, too. It's clear where this came from.
Yes!
Seaman Stroganoff. You seem to have quite a large purple stain on the back of your white uniform there.
Eh? Yes, I don't know where the dirt comes from.
So nothing in particular comes to mind about the stain.
What are you trying to say?
It would appear that the significance of the stain has escaped your attention, Seaman. Allow us to make it plain. It's a very large purple stain on the back of Seaman Stroganoff's uniform, and I think what made it is clear. Indeed it is. So, Mr. Naruhodo, present the evidence that proves it. My pleasure. Alright then. Notice that proves what that stain on the back of Seaman Stroganoff's uniform really is.
Yes!
Yo.
Breakthrough.
Yes, it's this photograph and the ink in it. It shows. That's what caused the stain on your uniform.
Ink?
You're right, you're right. You know what they should have used? Invisible ink. Would have worked much better. A rather unusual color of ink. Purple.
Oh.
The penny drops, at last. Now you see the significance. The Russian word on the floor next to the victim's body was written in purple ink. And the stain on the back of your uniform is ink of exactly the same color. If the ink had been dry, it couldn't possibly have stained your uniform in that way. Which means you must have been present in the cabin in the moments immediately after the ink was spilt.
Alright, yes. It was me. I did it. Everything. I arranged everything in that student's cabin to make it look like wardrobe man did it. Then I pressed button to make barrier do emergency stop and both cabin doors shut. I did everything so no one would suspect our angel.
You are my angel, you're my darling.
Angel. Wait, no, hold on. You are my angel. You're my darling angel.
There you go. Beef, please.
Don't worry, Angel. Let me do talking. It was after 1 in the morning. I was on duty patrolling passageway. An Angel came to me. She was white like sheet.
Beef, please, you must help me.
I went with her. The door to cabin number 1 was open. When I looked inside, I saw a student boy on floor. What happened here?
Please, don't tell anyone. My little one, my little furry friend.
Everything that happened in cabin is just like Angel told you. The kitten escaped through the ventilator into Mr. Asogi's cabin. Then he tripped over it and broke his neck when he fell to the floor. Oh, sorry, that was really nasty. He tripped over and broke his neck. Yes, that's right.
Oh, okay, so that's a lie. That's not how he died. Something's wrong. So after the incident when the cat ran away, Miss Pavlova then visited the cabin next to hers, only to find its occupant lying lifeless on the floor.
She said she was worried and she heard sound of something falling on the floor. That's when she went to look.
No, Angel? I think this angel is an angel of death.
The door was not locked. So she opened to look and you already know what happened after.
There's just one thing, if you wouldn't mind.
What?
When you went to Mr. Asogi's cabin, Miss Pavlova, this is what I'm wondering. So, real fast, before she says what I'm thinking, did the ship, if the ship had to make an emergency stop to get Miss Pavlova, why was his door open? Wouldn't it have been locked like it was later? Was he already dead? Oh, nope, that was something else. Why?
I already told you. When Nina opened door of the student's cabin and looked inside,
I was asking Miss Pavlova. Well, Miss Pavlova? Da. Oh. Yes, that's right. I saw him. It was dark and he was wearing black, but he was on the floor, not moving. I was scared. I understand, and I believe you. So we are back to the accident thing. So is that finally it now? Have we discovered the real truth about Kazuma's death at last? Something very nearly slipped my mind. Oh, Mr. Sholmes? This photograph. Yes, I took this myself, you know. The cause of death was a broken neck, therefore the victim died instantly. And the unfortunate incident that precipitated these events, a kitten, on which the victims... Okay, so here's my thing. Something is missing. Because what's the point of framing me when they could have just been like, oh, he tripped, he fell, it was an accident. Oh well. But no, they very specifically tried to pin a murder on me. However, if those are the facts, then there's one particular area in this photograph that seems to me somewhat unnatural.
what do you mean unnatural?
What are your thoughts on the matter, Mr. Naruhodo? Oh, well... clearly, if Kazuma tripped and fell, a terrible stroke of luck, bad luck, broke his neck. Which part of this photographic print seems unnatural? My guess is the hands. The hands are what's unnatural, like... He wouldn't necessarily be in this pose? Maybe? I'm gonna try... Yeah, no, the fist.
Yes!
Right? Alright, if he really fell into an unfortunate accident, then this fist just doesn't seem quite right. The exact same thoughts occurred to me. In a fall, one's instinct is to open the palms flat. Yet here we see the victim with his left hand tightly balled into his fist. Almost, you might say, as though he were gripping something.
What do you mean?
Simply that I took the liberty of investigating the victim's fist a short while ago. You did? And what, pray, do you imagine I found there, my dear fellow? Please tell me what's here.
Mr. Sholmes, show us, please.
Why, of course, my dear madam. Would I keep you in suspense? This is what I found.
The earring.
They were both in there when he died. Or, no. Yeah, no.
Oh, a crescent moon with a little gemstone in the middle?
Yes, you're right. A crescent moon. It's very pretty, but what does it tell us? It tells us nothing.
I'm not so sure. That crescent moon looks familiar somehow. I'm sure I've seen it somewhere before.
I wonder... Hold on, 1 second. Oh, I can't look at that... Shoot, I can't look at my court records. Observation, Mr. Naruhodo. That's the key. What? The truth is now tantalizingly close. How did that crescent moon come to be in Kazuma's clenched fist? There's obviously a fight. This is the final clue, the last piece of the puzzle. Ask yourself, what does this little crescent moon mean? What significance has it? And observe, find the answer with your own eyes.
Yes!
Here we go. Because there it is, right there. I can see it. Miss Pavlova, I noticed that on your ear. Even though you have a metal earring, the decorative part of it seems to be missing. The little link holding onto it must have been broken, I suppose. Eh? What? But looking at your other ear, I noticed a crescent moon. Huh? I don't believe it. Now, the missing crescent moon was found in the victim's clenched fist. Clearly, there's only one logical conclusion. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Naruhodo? The noose is beginning to tighten on this story. Miss Pavlova, Mr. Sogi must have grasped that crescent moon and pulled it from your ear. Perhaps just moments before he fell to the floor. In other words, last night in Mr. Asogi's cabin, you witnessed the moment when the victim fell with your own eyes. In fact, you were quite literally at arm's length from him. Oh, here it is. Okay. So I just wanted to look at it real fast. No? Okay. Wait. Gee, it does look, but it's super long. I have a fear. No. No, I doubt that. And yet, it coming back to bite us wouldn't necessarily be the biggest shock. He's got a much thinner face, though. Never mind. But then the question is, why did Mr. Asogi do that? Why did he pull your earring from your ear and hold it in his clenched fist during his final moments?
Oh no.
Angel?
No one can protect you now. Please, Miss Pavlova, tell us the truth. Last night, what did you do to Kazuma? What did you do to my friends? Wow, that was cool. But I want the full story. I must know the truth.
And I think about everything that happened yesterday. It was too much. Running away, the fishing boat in the middle of the night, trying to climb onto this huge ship. And then, when I was at last in this cabin and I could relax after this horrible long day. Duncan, wait!
Darker might have just been stressed. Probably not the chicken.
I couldn't believe it when she disappeared through the ventilator. I tried to call her with the little whistle. I tried waving her favorite toy, but nothing worked. Doggo would not come back. I'm starting to think it was still an accident, but a little bit more direct. So she knocked on the door. He unlocked it. He was like,
Oh, I don't remember locking this.
unlocked it. He was like, hi, yes, sorry. Please don't tell anyone, but my cat's here.
It's like, oh, don't worry, here, it's right over here.
And it's like, oh yeah, we're chatting.
There's some lurching of the ship. Takes a step backwards, accidentally steps on the glass bell, reaches forward to try and
Setting himself, and she probably tries to reach forward too. He grabs her necklace, her earring, I mean. Grabs her earring, falls onto the desk, on the back, breaks his neck, tumbles over to the side, onto his chest, and he dead. And they were afraid that the police would blame her, but it was just an accident. Like, the only crime here really is trying to pin the blame on me.
Clunk. What are you doing here at this time of night, Inspector? What are you doing here at this time of night, Inspector? No, I'm sorry. No, I thought it was a friend of mine.
No, so he knew. Okay.
Thought it was a friend of mine.
The young man from your country, he was very polite and kind. He helped me to find Darka, and he promised not to tell anyone. But then, when I had my friend in my arms again, and I was going to leave the men's cabin.
Just a moment. I'm sorry, but...
Oh, yes?
I'm sure I know your face. I've seen you somewhere before. Of course! You're Nikolina Pavlova, aren't you? The Russian ballerina.
Huh? No, I don't know that name. My heart nearly stopped when he said that. He knew who I was. How could this man from a land in the faraway east know a Russian ballerina?
Yes, I saw your performance in Japan. The beauty of the ballet made a deep impression on me. But, what are you doing on the ship? Sure, rather your ballet company was performing in Shanghai at the moment.
I can't fool him. I have to tell him the truth and hope he doesn't tell anyone. I have no other choice.
I see. So you've run away.
Please keep my secret. Don't tell anyone.
Give me a moment. I could use another opinion here.
He's going to pull that cord. He's going to tell the captain. Oh, psh. Why did I think I could trust him? Shit. No, he was going to go get Ryunosuke out of the wardrobe. Then it happened. Oh, nope. Okay, it wasn't an accident. Shit. I was trying my best. You know, I was really rooting for this to be an accident the entire time. Oh, well, they're near the end anyways, but... It was only a second, but it felt like forever. Wait, I shouted, and then... Darka jumped out of my arms and down to the young man's feet. And... as he turned around to look at me... Okay, so it was still more or less an accident. She accidentally pushed him into Darka and collapsed him. Like, she was trying to stop him from pulling the cord and accidentally killed him. Okay, we're good. I don't even know why. I don't know why I did it. I was just so scared. And I had to stop him from telling anyone about me.
And that's when you went to fetch help? From Seaman Stroganoff, who was on duty in the passageway. I heard Nina cry out and thud on the floor, so I ran to her. She was standing at cabin door, shaking like leaf. She looked at me and said,
Help me, Beef. If they find out, I will be... Please, I have nowhere to go.
So you decided to help. And that's when you arranged things in Kazuma's cabin to make it look like I did it. So that no one would suspect the passenger in the cabin next door? Yes. I went to the cabin and I looked around to make sure there was nothing to show Nina was there. And then I found Stowaway in the wardrobe, still sleeping.
Right, that's when he found me. So you worked out a plan to lay the blame on the stowaway.
I closed wardrobe doors and put back stained paper sign.
Luckily for me, that's the only reason Susada-san started to believe me when I said I was innocent.
I dragged the man's body to good place and used ink that was spilling to write on floor. I wrote so the person who found him would look inside the wardrobe and find Stowaway.
And tell me, what of the glass bell? It was by my feet, so I picked it up.
I see.
But it was dark in the cabin. I didn't notice the other half.
Then Angel went back to her cabin and I finished job.
By pressing the emergency alarm button in the passageway?
Yes.
Accordingly, the SS Beria did indeed come to an emergency halt at a little after 2 a.m., thus enticing the bolt on the cabin door to slide shut, creating the locked room mystery. This was a roller coaster. This was an absolute roller coaster of a case. Holy shit. There's still one thing I don't understand, Miss Pavlova. What? Well, you said that you told Kazuma about the fact that you'd run away from your homeland. It's because you were worried he was going to tell the captain that you pushed him. Isn't that right? Yes. But even if you had pulled the bell cord and called for the captain of the ship, aren't you friends with every member of the crew? Why would that have been a problem? Something tells me the captain didn't know, and the captain is the dad. It was what he said first that made me scared. What he said first?
What are you doing here at this time of night, Inspector? Oh. I'm sorry. I thought it was a friend of mine.
He said an inspector was his friend. Yes, meaning me, who was supposed to be acting as his bodyguard. I thought that the police knew about me, and they would arrest me. So before you could pull the bell cord, I... May I stop you for a moment, please, Miss Pavlova? It just doesn't seem to make sense. I mean, was Mr. Asogi really going to pull the bell cord? I don't know. What? What do you think, Mr. Naruhodo?
Well, I'm not Kazuma, so I can't know for certain. But I'm pretty sure he's coming to wake me up.
He was a man of his word. If he told you he wouldn't give your secret away, then he wouldn't have done. No, he was walking over to it. He was going to pull the cord. He was going to make them send me back.
Well, Mr. Naruhodo, the day's work is not yet done, it seems.
There's one more deduction to make. What? Another deduction? This is one that'll take 2 seconds. Yes. What action was the victim really about to take at that moment? Can we determine whether the young man's gaze was detected? Whither? First, consider the victim's location within his cabin. Well, that's easy. I remember every detail of that room. I mean, yes, I spent quite a lot of time in the wardrobe, but still, the cabin's been my home for this entire voyage. So this is how the cabin looked last night when Miss Pavlova and visit Kazuma-sama? Yes, it's exactly how it was.
Are you ready then, Miss Naruhodo?
Yes, if there's one thing I've learned today, it's that a simple gaze can reveal all manner of truths. And only that, in order to draw the right conclusion. You can't afford to be out by even a little bit when you're following the gaze to where it lands. So, when he turned away from Miss Pavlova, what exactly was Kazuma looking at? He wasn't looking here. He was looking here. The wardrobe. My wardrobe. I was in there at the time, of course, sleeping soundly. Too soundly. If only I hadn't eaten that chicken that was laced with the sleeping drug. If only he'd woken me up.
Maybe this tragedy would never have happened.
Take that!
I'm sorry, Miss Pavlova. I truly am sorry. Like, legitimately. Considering everything that happened last night, certainly it may have looked as though Kazuma was going to ring the bell cord. Yes, however, what is directly beside the bell cord? The wardrobe. The wardrobe? And more importantly, what was inside the wardrobe? The man's great friend, sleeping soundly. Miss Pavlova, please, think back very carefully. What were Mr. Asogi's exact words last night? Give me a moment. I could use another opinion here.
Another opinion?
Yes. No, the outside of the wardrobe that you were sleeping in. Yes, but not from a member of the crew. No, Mr. Asogi intended to consult his close friend on the matter. To see if, between them, they might be able to help in some way, no doubt.
No. Sadly, we can't know the truth for certain now. It's too late for that. I wish you had made sure of what Mr. Asogi was looking at. Things may have ended very differently if you had.
Miss Pavlova, I want to thank you for finally admitting the truth. But, unfortunately, the truth is, a man lost his life because of what you did. And that will never change. I hope you'll never forget that. You screamed to a 15-year-old girl. But also, yes, still true.
I'm sorry. Eddie, I'm so sorry.
What have I done? And so, at long last, the mystery surrounding the tragic accident on the SS Beria was finally laid to rest. Miss Beria, first class cabin, passed its way. What happened to Miss Pavlova now, then? Once she reaches Great Britain, she'll be handed over to the British police at Scotland Yard. What about the fact that she ran away from Russia? Won't the Russians try to repatriate her? Apparently, the English detective can speak to the immigration office and sort all that out. Mr. Sholmes can do that? So she won't be going back to Russia? So she won't be going back to Russia then? No, I don't think so. If she wanted to return in the future, I doubt she would be able to. She ran away, so now she's in exile for life. I see. I'm sorry. Seaman Stroganoff? Fuck, I hate the image that conjures. Fuck. God damn it. I wanted to help our angel, no matter what. But I didn't think about you until you lost a good friend. I will go with Nina. I will give myself to British police. That's kind of you. In the meantime, thank you for letting me go free again. Kazuma's death feels like such a waste. But, well, do what you can for Miss Pavlova, won't you? Even in the end, I still say that his death was, for the most part, an accident. She wanted to stop him, she didn't want to kill him. Like, it just so happened, bad series of events, that he died from the fall. But also, no, Lexus, I'm surprised that you didn't get the horrible implication that was in my brain. Hopefully it won't come up again. Duh. Well, I'm afraid you need to pack now. We're due to arrive in Hong Kong tomorrow. As much as it pains me, I'm going to have to hand you over to the consul to arrange a passage back to Japan. Yes, I did stow away, after all. Couldn't really expect any different. Absolutely not. I'll tell you off stream. So, you should get back to your cabin now. What was your thought, Maya? I want to know what your theory was. Next time I do this, though, people have theories, as long as they're not, like... I know exactly what happens. Like, no, I'll take more theories, like, as you have them next time. Looks like my study tour to Great Britain is over before it even begun, then. I think that only 2 days ago, Kazuma and I were laughing together about how we tear up the streets of London. Seems like a distant memory now. Oh, what's that? Is someone weeping? Oh, when did you get here? Shisata-san? Naruhodo-san, I didn't know you had returned. Oh, well, I haven't been back long. Inspector Hosonaga just told me I should pack. You know, ready to leave the ship tomorrow and all that. Oh no, she's gonna cry. But she did just lose her best friend as well, so... I still can't believe this happened. I can't believe someone's life can be over just like that. Susanna-san. I thought it was just some... Oh, okay, yeah. There's a lot of context that was missing there. He had such grand ideas for this visit to Great Britain. So many dreams. Yeah, next time I'll ask for theories as it happened, especially to be like, no, because like this and that, but... And now they've been cruelly taken away, just as he has. I thought I could never forgive the person responsible. But now we know the truth. That it was just an accident. It was a silly series of mishaps. It's too much. That's true. If the cat had never, if Darka had never gone into the other room, this wouldn't have happened. If Darka had come back, gone back through the ventilators when seeing the cat toy, this wouldn't have happened. If he hadn't recognized her, this wouldn't have happened. If he hadn't asked for a second opinion, thought about getting a second opinion, this wouldn't have happened. If she hadn't jumped to conclusions about what he was doing, this wouldn't have happened. There's just so many points where this could have been prevented. Yes, I know. I wish there was something I could say. Inspector, my duty was to see Asogi-san safely to Great Britain, but I failed, and caused his two closest friends great pain and suffering as a result. I've let everyone down. I'll do anything to make up for my terrible blunder. Nobody blames you, Inspector. And I'm free again now, at least. What the? Surprise, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, what are you doing? What is the meaning of this? Oh, a trifling matter. Something that in my head, I think I shall always picture you wearing those shekels. Without them, the balance seems all wrong. It's distracting. Sorry? So I decided to restore them, for old time's sake, shall we say. You are still away after all? He thinks this is funny? Mr. Sholmes, we do appreciate all your assistance. I'd like to thank you from the bottom of my heart. Not at all, not at all. And though it's a little late, may I offer my sincere condolences? The loss of your companion is truly heartrending. I hope that you'll be able to fulfill some of his aspirations in his honor. I'm afraid that won't be possible. I have a feeling Sholmes has already made plans to be like, oh no, he's coming with me. And Ryunosuke is like, wait, what? We shall be disembarking at the next port in Hong Kong. We have to return to Japan and make a full report about everything that's happened. What? Wait a minute. It's just me that has to go back, isn't it? I mean, I was the stowaway. The terms of the study tour were negotiated by the Department of Justice of both Great Britain and Japan. It was to be one lawyer and one assistant. Was to be. In the light of Mr. Osogi's unfortunate death, I'm afraid the study tour can no longer go ahead. Oh no. I don't care for me, but... Poor Sasato-san. My dear fellows, the majority of problems have an extremely simple solution, you know. All you require is one lawyer, and the study tour can continue, surely.
But there is no one else with the necessary qualifications, Mr. Sholmes. We know of no other lawyer.
Qualifications, you say? You say. Any qualification obtained in your own country will be of little value in Great Britain, I'm afraid.
Oh, but...
But anyway, the voyage to London still promises a good month of time. Ample opportunity, I would say, to find yourselves another suitable lawyer.
Yes.
Mr. Sato?
Yes? I single-handedly solved my own case, like, a few weeks ago, so... Do you think perhaps I might be able to do it?
But you're not a lawyer, Mr. Naruhodo. Oh, unless... Are you studying law?
No, I'm not, but...
I'm sorry, in that case, I don't think there's even a chance it could work. But as I said, there's still more than a month before we reach England's shores. Isn't that right, Mr. Naruhodo?
Yes, I have a month in which to study, to learn when I must become a lawyer in Great Britain. Also because I already did a whole lawyer thing. Like, I'm not studying law, which is kind of a problem. For, you know, a prospective lawyer. On the bright side, though, we've already solved a case. No, we just actually defended a case in court.
Mr. Naruhodo, that's ridiculous. Are you seriously suggesting anybody could learn all that in just 40 days?
There's only one way to find out.
I would work my fingers to the bone, Inspector. Every single day. Will you let me try? And if by the time we reach Great Britain, I haven't learned enough to be recognized as a lawyer, I'll take whatever punishment is deemed appropriate. But why put yourself in such a difficult position? For Kazuma, he said that there was something he had to do in Great Britain, and that he would sacrifice anything to make it happen. He was passionate about it. Why can't all that passion just come to nothing? And anyway, it's for my own benefit too. I will become a lawyer. I have to. What do you say, Mrs. Sato?
Holy fucking shit, is she actually smiling? Is that a first? I don't think we've seen her smile yet. It's a little off-putting. I think it's a wonderful idea.
Thank you. So, what does our bespectacled inspector friend say? Are you serious? One lawyer and one assistant. The numbers are indisputable.
No, it's madness.
Yet fascinating, wouldn't you agree? Fascinating? Duty and rules are the dull routine of existence that we all abhor. Give us interest, give us fascination. Speak for yourself. Besides, qualifications are no measure of a man. What matters is his character, no? And you've witnessed ample evidence of this man's exemplary character today with your own eyes. From the early hour of this morning until this very moment now. Despite contending with the passing of his close companion, and despite the accusation of guilt, this man has shown resourcefulness, intelligence, and above all, courage. Very well. I'll think of a clever way to word my report to the Department of Justice. Inspector, after all, I did just make a promise, didn't I? I said that I'd do anything at all to make up for my shortcomings here.
Oh, thank you, Inspector.
If you'll excuse me, I must pay a visit to the captain's quarters, I think, and discuss what to do next and how best to make a report.
Try not to get another black eye, alright?
It looks very painful.
Are you really prepared to attempt this, Mr. Naruhodo?
Yes, I'm going to try. I wonder, would you consider teaching me what I need to know? Everything about being a lawyer? To be honest, I'm pretty sure it is. Or at least it's one of the, this is technically 2 games in one, so I don't know which game it is. But yes, it is. I know the clown is from this game. Also, it's interesting that the first 2 cases, one was it was all lawyering and the other one was all detectiving. Because normally in past Ace Attorney games, it was the first trial was all trial, and the second case was investigation and trial. But now it's like, oh, can I split it up? That or just gonna go back for them. I would be delighted to help you. I am a judicial assistant after all. Thank you. And Mr. Naruhodo, I'd like you to take charge of this. What? Me? Are you sure? I'm sure it's what Kazuma-sama would have wanted. Its name is Karuma. Karuma. Okay, so I know some Japanese at this point thanks to Duolingo. I'm sure there are multiple meanings for this name. But Karuma is also, you know, car. Which is very funny. But I'm sure it has other meanings as well. Very well. I accept. I'll treasure it, always. So then, Mr. Sato, seems we'll be working together for some time to come yet. How many more times do you think she's going to toss me over her shoulder in the rest of this game? It will be an honor, Mr. Naruhodo. My guess is at least 3 times a case. And for the next 40 days, I shan't grant you a minute of freedom, a single minute of freedom. We shall fill every spare moment with study. Karma? I don't know. The pun hasn't necessarily come up yet. Yes, that's exactly what I need. Karuma. No. Karuma. I mean, it could be karma. You're not wrong. That's true. Because the problem is, I'm looking at it Romaji. If I was looking at it like in Japanese script, I would know if it was kanji or katakana. And if it's katakana, then I would know it would be karma instead of karuma. So you make a very good point. It's probably karma. Didn't think about that. But before we begin, I have an earnest favor to ask of you too. Goodness, what is it? Don't die, and also stop getting arrested. Please throw me to the ground. 3 times. What? I should never have doubted you. You were Kazuma-sama's closest friend. Of course you would never have done anything to hurt him. That should have been obvious to me from the start. But I allowed suspicion to get the better of me. And no matter how upset I was feeling, it was completely unforgivable behavior. I'm not tossing around a 16-year-old girl. Nope, Lexus, I tried to get ahead of that. But the delay, unfortunately, was a bit late. Yeah, we're his age, 23. She's 16. No. I'm not tossing around a 16-year-old girl. We're good. And no matter how upset I was feeling, it was completely unforgivable behavior. No, you were in shock. You just found out about me stowing away, and the cabin door was locked from the inside. No, I won't let you make excuses for me. Whatever the circumstances, I should never have thrown you, and not just once, but 5 times. That number keeps creeping up, doesn't it? Please, you must. Just take hold of me and throw me. Do it. Don't even think about it. No, I don't even know how. I've never thrown anyone in my life. Very wise, Mr. Naruhodo. There's a skill one acquires without considerable training. Oh, Mr. Sholmes. I observed your throwing technique several times with great interest. I confess I was most impressed. Where did he see that? I presume that would be a form of Japanese wrestling. Oh, well, in a way. It's not wrestling, but my own interpretation of an ancient jiu-jitsu technique. Damn it. Wait, no, I was thinking jiu-jitsu. I was right. Wait, no, or was I thinking of judo? No, that's right. I don't know what I was thinking. I was thinking between judo and jiu-jitsu. Jiu-jitsu. Apparently it's called the Susato takedown. It'll leave your head swimming. Believe me. How beguiling. I'm a practitioner of the combative arts myself. I'm a somewhat accomplished boxer. What do you know? I was absolutely right. There he goes, dancing around again. Why don't you be so kind as to instruct me in the technique of your resting throw?
Yes, I'd be honored.
Then let us not dally. Demonstrate, my dear madam. Oh no, oh no, oh no, wait, who's the guinea pig?
Oh, of course.
Ah, shit.
Are you ready, Mr. Naruhodo?
Sorry?
Yeah.
Ah, shit.
I don't...
I'll say yes, only because I'm pretty sure she'll kick his ass. He is twice her age, and she will kick his ass, and I would love to see that.
As you can see, you throw from the abdomen.
Oh, yes, arresting indeed. What you term the Suistola takedown, is it?
Actually, no. That was just a squash.
What's the difference, I say from down below?
In my groggy state of consciousness, a scene from an evening recently spent with Kazuma flickered into my mind.
Alright. Karima? That's right. It's a prized sword that's been passed down through generations of the Asogi clan. I can't believe you managed to get permission to bring it with you. I mean, taking katana on a study tour is more than a little irregular, surely. I'll be honest, I forgot about this man's never-ending wavy headband. A Japanese man's sword is his soul, Ryunosuke, and can't be parted from my katana. Karima guides me. I truly believe that. The only reason why it might not be karma is because then the English localization would actually call it karma. So its name compels its wielder to slice evil in two? Not that you would need much compelling. On that subject, there's something very important that I have to do in Great Britain. And I'll sacrifice anything to make it happen. I'd appreciate you seeing it through with me.
Of course I will. Whatever it is, I'll see it through to the end with you. Wait, buying what?
Oh, karma, right. I have no idea.
I mean, you're very not wrong. But I have no idea.
I knew you wouldn't let me down. I can Google it in a bit. Or now, whichever. That important thing he had to do. I still don't know what... Oh, that's fine. What that was. But I'm going to see the place for myself and work it out. In Great Britain's capital, London. Let's see here. Alright, so this is where we're going to end it. I'm going to look this up real fast, see if I can find the actual meaning of this name. And then afterwards we shall end it a little bit later then. Oh, well, shit. Well, that was a minor spoiler, perhaps, for myself. To answer the question, I'm pretty sure, yes, it has a thing about karma. Alright, but yeah, thank you all so much for joining me. Let me go see who is streaming so we can raid. Yeah, that was fun. We actually finished episode 2. I think there's generally 5 episodes per game. So we have 3 more here, and then we have all of the second game to play. So we got a while to go still. Thank you, Maya, Alexis, for coming by. Tomorrow, at same time tomorrow, about 4 o'clock, we're going to be continuing Genshin. Alexis, I know you're excited about that. Yeah, let me see what's going on. Oh, you know what? We haven't raided Vivi in a while. Let's go raid Vivi. They are drawing fan art with their left hand. That's fun. Alright.